Warren De La Salle is comfortable with the bus ride to Ford Field. Muskegon Mona Shores is familiar with the path toward a state championship thanks to rose-colored glasses. It's the most anticipated bus trip of a high school football lifetime.
The Division II state championship game. Warren De La Salle and Muskegon Mona Shores are the last two teams standing. A traditional power from Detroit's Catholic League against the new power of the West Side's OK Conference. Two rosters dripping with big-time talent. Two coaches connected by more than just being opponents. And the renewal of a rivalry. For the third time in 7 seasons, these two teams meet in the championship game. A Cinderella run against a team determined to repeat. It's the Division II state finals. Next.
We have brought you here to Ford Field in downtown Detroit, where a Division II champion will be crowned this afternoon. Will it be a second in a row for Brady Rose and Muskegon Mona Shores, or a fourth all-time for the pilots of De La Salle? Either way, you'll find out here on Fox Sports Detroit. Hi, everyone, with former Michigan quarterback Devin Gardner. I'm Matt Shepard. Welcome. We'll hear from Brooke Fletcher a little bit later on. You've been in this situation both as a junior and a senior coming out of Inkster High School. What do you remember most, and what are these kids going through?
I mean, it's a special moment. As a junior, for me, it's like, oh, you might be able to get back, right? You kind of take it for granted. But as a senior, this is your last opportunity. And it's something that you relish, the opportunity to show what you got.
Folks, my partner here was the #1 dual-threat quarterback his senior season in the country, right? Muskegon Mona Shores quarterback Brady Rose won't have that same accolade, but he's one of the best players in the state, Deb, don't you?
Yeah, because of that accolade, I think I'm uniquely qualified to let you know that he is not only one of the best dual-threat quarterbacks this state has ever seen, but one of the best football players. This young man does it all. And it's not just on offense, right? He plays great defense. He leads his team in tackles, interceptions. Just last week, a pick-6 that seals the deal. If you're looking for a throwback football player in the mode of a Tom Harmon that does everything, this is the kid you're looking for.
I like the Tom Harmon reference. The last player to wear 98, Tom Harmon, in Ann Arbor. This guy right here. By the way, Brady Rose, a dream team selection. His head coach, Matt Koziak, said he's the best, the toughest, and the grittiest player he has ever coached. He plays with every ounce on every snap. Folks, he will need that today against a De La Salle team that Devin is battle-tested and on a bit of a roll. Why?
Yeah, they're on a roll because of the way they've prepared throughout the season. Like you said, battle-tested. They went through the Catholic League, and it is quite a ringer. They got into the playoffs, and they rolled people just last week. Got a chance to finish a barn burner against Oak Park High School in overtime. They had Orchard Lake, Catholic Central, Brother Rice, DeWitt, Cass Technical High School. I mean, they've been through it all, and they are prepared to be on this stage.
Yeah, you see the overtime win over Oak Park that started to get on a roll once they made the playoffs. De La Salle started 2-4. They come in 6-4. Their head coach, Dan Roan, admitted to us, we're a year ahead of schedule. He's a little surprised that they've made it this far, but they are here now, and they are ready for a very familiar foe. Muskegon Mona Shores and Warren De La Salle have a history. How has it turned out in the past? We'll have that story when we come back to Ford Field as we ready to crown a D2 champion on Fox Sports Detroit. Stay with us. The MHSAA football finals are proudly brought to you by the Sparrow Health System. Proud to be with you here at Ford Field for the Division II state championship. With Devin Gardner, I'm Matt Shepard. Let's welcome in the third member of our broadcast team on this Friday afternoon. Hi, Brooke Fletcher.
Hey, Shep, yeah, this is the third time in 7 years that these two teams have met in the state finals. And Warren De La Salle won in 2014 and 2018, so you'd think they were coming into this game with a this Mona Shores team is a team not to be taken lightly, especially behind star quarterback Brady Rose. He led the Sailors to a state championship back in 2019, and he is ready to repeat. Now, I asked Coach Koziak, hey, are you coming into this game with a chip on his shoulder? And he said, yes and no. It's a double-edged sword. He said, yes, the last 2 times he's lost at Ford Field was to De La Salle, so it gives his kids an extra motivation. But he said, ultimately, hey, we don't care who we have to go through. We just want to win this state championship.
Thanks, Brooke. Yeah, Dan Roan said Matt Koziak, the head coach, Muskegon Mona Shores, does a tremendous job. He understands that they are super talented, and they will have to deal first and foremost with number 22 in powder blue, Brady Rose. And there's the head coach, Matt Koziak of Muskegon Mona Shores. And to Brooke's point, he understands that he is now the hunted. He said, we've taken everybody's best shot as defending champion, and we are ready to defend it here today. A line drive kick to Rose. Bounce into the outside. And a pretty good start for his offense, right around the 28-yard line. Don't let the size fool you, folks. At 5'7", $172, he is an absolute baller.
He is, like we talked about in the open, one of the best players the state has ever seen. And he is going to live the rest of his life as a legend around his community. And he's trying to get them one more state championship.
I love what you said before the game to me. You said, Brady Rose will never pay for another lunch in Muskegon again.
Now, the NCAA will have something to say about that. But after his college career is over at Ferris State, absolutely not.
4 wide receivers set. And it'll be Rose on a pitch to Keandre Pierce for the edge. Good speed and a first down and more. Up front, Rose is protected by a solid offensive line, the heaviest they've ever had under Matt Koziak, led by Bryce Sikkema, a 2-year starter, and who is Rose's best friend. Gary Humphrey, the wide receiver, wearing number 4, leads them in receiving yards. You saw Pierce on that rush there, and Elijah Johnson is their featured tailback primarily. On an inside give, and looking for a bit of a lane there, and spinning all the way to the 35-yard line goes Elijah Farnham.
On these first 2 plays, you can see that De La Salle's plan is to stop Brady Rose, and it's opening up, and Brady Rose is making good decisions. This is a quarterback power, right? You see him completely commit to Brady Rose, but it allows the runner to outflank the defense immediately. Very good job by the coaching staff of Mona Shores, knowing, and Brady Rose not trying to do too much, right? Take what the defense gives you. That's what's gotten you here, and he's already doing it early. You saw him on the first play with pitching the option, and then now he gives it on the quarterback power read.
Farnham picked up 24 on that carry. Now Rose works out of the pistol. Pierce again. This one snuffed out. Good job defensively, and a flag on the play, a late flag. That was Jaden Conklin making the tackle, the middle linebacker, with his 68th wrap-up of the year.
Conklin on the play defensively for the Pilots.
Blindside block on the offense. 15 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat, first down.
That's something they're trying to take out of football. You know, at home, you're probably thinking, well, that's good football. He's chasing the runner, and he blocks him, but the crackback block has been changed. You cannot do that any longer. Essentially, the defender has to see you before you can take him out like that.
So first down at 24 for Muskegon Mona Shores on the very first drive of the day. Rose, a home run ball, and that's a little bit far for his intended receiver, Gary Humphrey.
That is not a bad throw by Brady Rose. His receiver initially is getting held, and it's a little too far.
It's a De La Salle defense that has given up just 22 touchdowns on the year, 11 on the ground, 11 through the air. Up front, Dylan Weaver is a 3-year starter. Will Beasley leads the team in tackles. Tyler Gerling, number 4, is a captain and a very strong leader for this Pilots club. Second down at 24 for Muskegon Mona Shores. On the inside ride. Elijah Johnson. Broke a tackle. He's into the clear for a moment and inside the 20. A red zone carry. A first down move. And Muskegon Mona Shores with a big play. The third big play of the drive.
Coach Roan is not going to be happy about this. They have 8 players in the box for a reason. You're going to hear the same ride across. Reading the defensive end right here. The defensive end gets underneath. He gives it.
First down and 10.
Coach Roan's not going to be happy. 8 guys in the box. You have to be able to stop the run, and they give up a huge play early in the game.
33-yard carry. Now Rose sifting his way to about the 12-yard line. So far, Muskegon Mona Shores on this drive. A 13-yard pickup, a 24-yard pickup, and a 33-yard gainer.
33, Will Beasley.
De La Salle's made it clear what they're going to do on defense. We're going to stop Brady Rose. So that's going to leave a lot of opportunities on the outside with one-on-ones and opportunities for Brady Rose to put the ball in the air.
3 wide receivers set for Rose on a 2nd down and 6.
See, 8 guys in the box right here.
Rose will keep it. Into the secondary. Touchdown.
Touchdown, Mona Shore. 22, Brady Rose on the keeper.
The guy that has to make this play is going to be right over here. He comes in late. He gets blocked by the wide receiver. You have to see that it's a run play and commit yourself to trying to stop this guy. He has been spectacular for the last 2 seasons. You have to know that in the read option game, he has to be the #1 priority. If somebody's going to beat us, it cannot be Brady Rose if I'm De La Salle. They didn't do it there, and he burns them early.
And he holds for the extra point, and he's going to have to try and make something out of it, but he won't be able to. Tough snap to handle. Rose disappointed, but really thrilled with his offense's first drive. He wears 22. He now has 23 rushing touchdowns during his senior campaign, and he's giving his club an early lead in the Division II state championship game. Muskegon Mona Shores is trying to repeat as a state champion. Brady Rose led their team to an upset win over King a year ago in this same stage.
I mean, it was so much Brady Rose. I was there live. As you can see, he's here making an interception. He was as talented a player as I have seen in a state championship game. But let me remind you, it was only his 2nd time playing quarterback because their quarterback gone down the previous game. He comes in, wins that game, then he comes into that game in the state championship, the biggest stage to date at that point, and he performs as well as you possibly can against a very good Detroit Martin Luther King football team.
He had a 3 rushing touchdown day. He also passed for a touchdown in that win over King, and really,
and he had an interception.
Yeah, and headlines then started, and articles started pouring in for sure. He had 16 total yards on the first drive, and Muskegon Mona Shores has the 6-0 lead. Keegan DeKuyper will kick it deep. Brett Stanley for De La Salle from the 10. Some good blocks to get it past the 30. And Warren De La Salle will try and answer now, Devin. A team that comes in 6-4 out of the Catholic League. They were 1-2 in that conference this year. Yeah. Brady Drogosh, just a sophomore, but a live arm and a guy who seems to have figured it out and where he fits on this team.
Yeah, without question. They have been through the ringer. We highlighted in the open. Brother Rice, very good team. Orchard Lake, very good team. Catholic Central, undefeated through the regular season. DeWitt, a state championship team. And Cass Tech, who, if they have their players, they may also be in the state championship. So they're well-tested, battle-tested, and ready for this opportunity.
With an inside motion, and Alton McCullum to the edge for a decent gain. The junior McCullum leads this team in receiving yards, and this offensive line has grown up more than any other group, according to Dan Roan, their head coach. They are smart. They are tough. Anthony McCullum on the left side is getting some D3 offers, and Noah Dobbs, 55, is an old school player, tough and nasty. He plays the right guard spot. First time through the air, pressure comes, and he unloads, incomplete. That pressure from the edge. Coming off the edge was Kyrie Hamel.
Stanley, the intended receiver.
Yeah, he's going to drop back. He doesn't like what he says. He gives like a play action, but the running back sees that there's pressure and blocks, and just too late, right? You know, you're going to have to get that ball out because this defense of Mona Shores is poised, right? They've heard all the talk about Mona Shores' quarterback, Brady Rose, but they are here to prove a point that, hey, we're a talented unit as well, and we can play with the best of them.
12 sacks on the year for the defense. Drogosh wants to throw on 3rd and long. Pump fakes, and down he goes. Wrestled down at the 28-yard line by Bryce Sickenga. And Sickenga, with his team-high 5th sack of the year, thwarts the De La Salle drive.
This play is designed similar to a naked bootleg to get the quarterback out of the pocket so that he can throw it away if it's trouble. Right? He fakes it, and they're trying to set up a throwback, but it's not there. Get the ball out of bounds or near someone on your team so that you don't have to take this big loss and give great field position to Mona Shores.
Michael Bucci will punt it away for De La Salle. Off the side of his foot, Brady Rose yells fire, telling everybody to get away from it. And it'll wobble down to the 38-yard line, and that's where Rose and the offense will try and take flight. A 31-yard punt. No return, but a 6-0 lead for Muskegon Mona Shores. It is different when you come into a season or even a game with the bullseye on your back, being the hunted rather than being the hunter. How does that change people's minds, do you think?
I mean, they have been tested this year, right? Because like Coach said, they're going to get everyone's best shot as the Defending State champion, and everybody's heard all about Brady Rose. And when you play teams, they want to show, hey, this little guy's not going to do it to us, but nobody's been able to stop him.
Elijah Johnson with the lean. Instead, Rose keeps it and gets 2 hard-fought yards out to the 40-yard line, dragged down by Jaden Conklin. Muskegon Mona Shores in the Division II state championship game for a 2nd straight year. You see their school profile. Justin Abdelkader, former longtime Red Wing there, incorporates 5 school districts. The city of Muskegon is named after the Muskegon River, and from the Native American word Ojibwa, Chippewa, which means marsh.
Oh. I took Ojibwa in college.
You could teach us a few other words then. Elijah Johnson to the right of Brady Rose on a 2nd and 8. It'll be Rose up the gut. Took a pounding, but keeps on churning and gets to the 43-yard line. Will Beasley made the tackle.
Yeah, you can see Will Beasley is flying down, right, with reckless abandon, and that's how you have to play against a Brady Rose. You have to take your shot, right? He's flying down, take your shot, and let the rest of the defense come and help if you miss, but you cannot get into a box with him because Brady Rose will make you miss in a phone booth.
They move Will Beasley around a lot because he's such a talented linebacker. Rose on the option. He'll cut it up. He'll break a tackle. He's into De La Salle territory for another 1st down.
Ball carrier is Brady Rose.
John Hunt came up, made the tackle from the safety spot, but not before Rose picked up 11.
I love watching this Mona Shores offense work. The variety they have in the way that they do things, right? They have the fake the dive. It's kind of like the option that we watch with the Division 8 teams and things like that, but it's from the gun, and you have motion guys coming back as the pitch man, and then you have such an explosive runner at the quarterback position.
Reminds me of the old Oklahoma offense.
Absolutely.
Jamal Holloway at the helm. Rose throws off his back foot downfield, and it's almost hauled in. Would have been a whale of a catch by Elijah Farnham. Bobbled it a little bit. Tough play for a wide receiver. Should be 2nd and 10.
That is a big throw. He rolled to the outside the right hash and threw a corner back across the field outside the numbers. And he almost threw a touchdown pass. That, I mean, for a guy who we look at as the runner, and like that's directly in his receiver's hands, just an inch above the defender's outstretched fingers.
Pretty good coverage by Tyler Gerling downfield. 3-year starter wearing 4 in white. Johnson spinning away from pressure and stuck at the 45-yard line. It'll be a 3rd down and long for Muskegon Mona Shores. Remember, they faced that on their first drive, and it was picked up thanks to a nice run from Elijah Farnham.
Andrew Jassikaitis, 50.
That last throw we saw from Brady Rose is the maturation of Brady Rose as quarterback. Last year in the state championship, or even earlier this year, you wouldn't see him rolling right and chucking the ball way across the field. But he trusts himself. He loves what he's been able to do, and his coaches trust him as well.
Over 2,000 all-purpose yards on the year for Brady Rose on a 3rd down and long. Quick throw out to Pierce. Broke one tackle. Couldn't get by another. Stymied at the 41-yard line.
This could be 4-down territory.
Came in to clean him up.
Keandre Pierce.
This could be 4-down territory, Shep.
Jaden Conklin.
With a play like that, right, you throw it, get a quick throw, and try to get some yards back. Maybe you outflank the defense. They do it here. They get a couple yards, and they trust that Brady Rose can get 4.
Two wide receivers to each side for Rose.
Watch for Brady Rose on the edge. Is some kind of combination up here with the receivers.
Looks left and incomplete. Intended for Gary Humphrey. Humphrey went in, Rose threw out, and De La Salle holds. They get the ball back, trailing 6-0 when we come back to Ford Field after this.
You know, I've been here. I've played on a few of these championships before. This one just feels different. It's the ride that we've been through from shutdown, COVID, you know, 2 and 4, back in the playoffs, you know, 6-week, 7-week layoff, and then, you know, practice over the holidays, Christmas, and just all these things. It's changed it. It's made it a little bit different and more special. And I think the relationships and our program is growing leaps and bounds. Not only the way we play, but from, you know, developing, you know, the strength and the bonds and the things that make high school football so special.
Experience so vital in a situation like this, both as a coach and as a player. You don't get overwhelmed when you've been here before. And Dan Roan, while at Grand Rapids West Catholic, very impressive resume, Coach of the Year in 2014, did tell us this team is no longer a bunch of young kids trying to figure it out. They have 13 seniors, that's it, out of 60 kids. But playing that tough schedule, he felt really helped this team physically and mentally.
Yeah, without question. The intestinal fortitude they showed throughout the year. Every team makes the playoffs. They got in, hit their stride, and now they find themselves fighting for a state championship.
Option to the boundary side, and Drogosh gets up to the 45-yard line. That's a good first down play.
Yeah, without question. You want to get positive yards. 5 yards on first down is ideal, right? So now you set up a 2nd and 5 where you can pass the ball, you can run the ball. You have your entire playbook at your disposal, and that's conducive to success. I think the Pilots are in an advantageous position as they move on their second drive.
Jeff Lenarowitz on the tackle from Muskegon Mona Shores. Brett Stanley to the left of Brady Drogosh. And he gets the call. Slicing his way close to midfield before taken down a yard shy of the chains. Gary Humphrey with a nice tackle. Hard-working, really good captain, wearing 4 in blue. And you saw Stanley get upended by Humphrey. No surprise considering Humphrey is a state champion power lifter. Boy, that translates, doesn't it, Dev?
Without question. You know, it's always the wrestlers and the power lifters that translate really well on the football field. But Stanley's no slouch in the strength department either. Take a look at those legs, right? You can see the power cuts that he makes and tries to get vertical very, very quickly. And it's because of how strong his lower body is. Stanley
was a freshman on the De La Salle state championship team. He's got the first down into Muskegon Mona Shores territory.
Stanley on the carry. First down, De La Salle.
The De La Salle was founded in 1926, right across from Connor Creek, next to City Airport. They relocated to Warren in 1982. I like the name of their student newspaper. It's called The Co-Pilot. It's pretty cool. See some noted alum. In addition to that, J.P. McCarthy, the late great talk show host in the city of Detroit.
How about Shane Morris?
Shane Morris, who came and visited our booth before the game. Yes. Yeah. Great to see him.
One of the best quarterbacks that ever played at De La Salle.
Beasley on the carry. Positive yards on first down. That's what De La Salle. They don't want to get behind the chains. They don't want to get out of that comfort zone of who they are.
They love to keep control, right? They will pass the ball, but they're a ball control offense. They've been that way for years, and they get a new coach, and it stays the same. The culture, as far as that's concerned, stays the same. They want to control the clock, control the ball, and they're doing a good job in their second drive here.
And coaches to his talent, what they do well. Beasley's in motion. On a second down and long, Drogosh outside the pocket. Has time. Pump fakes once. Broke a tackle. Looking for the edge and cut it back for a first down carry. Nice run by the De La Salle Q.
Keeps the ball and runs for a De La Salle first down.
I've loved to see the maturation of Drogosh. Still a relatively young quarterback. Early in the year, you wouldn't see this, right? You see him take a sack, right? He makes a play. He makes one guy miss, puts his head down, and now he's trying to get as much as he can. He knows that these snaps can be limited because of the quarterback on the other side, and he's taking advantage of every snap. Very good job. Love the way he's matured throughout the year. 3
wide receivers set on a first down. Instead, they give it to Stanley. Bounce into the outside and dragged down by Humphrey after a gain of a few.
The ball carrier driven out of bounds by Kerry Humphrey. Gain of 1.
Well, you had mentioned Humphrey when I was talking about him being a state powerlifter. Stanley, a 2-time all-state wrestler. Talented baseball player as well.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it by the way he runs, right? There's no way that that young man doesn't understand leverage. He completely understands it. You saw it as he got in the end zone to get his team here last week against Oak Park, and you're seeing it here early in this game.
Love the way he squares his shoulders. Here's the sweep to him. Flag on the play. Stutter steps his way and dragged down right around the 30-yard line by Drew Sandberg.
It's going to be a legal shift on De La Salle.
Flag on the play.
2 guys moving at the same time. Everybody needs to be set, and I don't think De La Salle had that.
Illegal motion on the offense. 2 men in motion at the same time. 5 yards from the previous spot. Still second down.
March it back to the Mona Shores 45-yard line.
The 5-yard penalty.
And at home, that penalty isn't always just because of 2 guys motioning. It might be a guy that just didn't get set while another guy was motioning, or 2 people just taking their sweet time, and you know that drives coaches crazy. Get to the line of scrimmage and get set so we don't have penalties like that we should be able to avoid.
They reposition it to the 42 of Mona Shores.
Second down and 14.
So second down and 14 for De La Salle. Tough to keep this in mind, but quarterback's got to be thinking, I don't have to get it all in one play.
You do not. Look for an easy throw. You got soft coverage to the top of the screen right there.
Instead, it's Stanley. Upended at about the 37-yard line. Ball came out, but he was already down.
Stanley on the carry.
This is a big third down. Sets up a third and relatively long.
On the stop, along with Brady Rhodes.
Might be thinking 4-down territory anyway. They'll have some time to talk it over because that is the end of the first quarter and a quick moving first quarter here at Ford Field. Both teams have that championship pedigree, that experience. It's Mona Shores with the early lead because Brady Rose is a thorn in the side of the Pilots so far today.
Welcome back. Mona Shore leads 6-0 here in the start of the second quarter. This is Dan Roan's first year as head coach at Warren De La Salle. Before that, he was the head coach at West Catholic for 9 seasons, and that is where the Mona Shore's football connections began. You guys, try to stay with me here, all right? The defensive coordinator for Mona Shores is Dave Check. Now, he was Dan Roan's defensive coordinator all 9 seasons at West Catholic, and that's where they developed their great relationship. And on top of that, Mona Shore's current athletic director Todd Conrad was also on Roan's staff at West Catholic for 3 years. Oh yeah, not to mention they're best friends, and they stood up in each other's wedding. And if that wasn't enough, you guys, how about a connection of one of the kids? Dan Roan played college football with Brady Rose's father, Ken Rose, at Grand Valley. Quite the connection. They all have a great relationship, you guys. They've been talking about this game since last July. They're all members of the Muskegon Golf Club, and Todd and all these guys, they actually were talking about this game, talking a little smack, and Dan Roan said if he can't beat them today, he'll maybe beat them on the golf course.
Well, who usually wins in golf, Brooke? That's the question.
Oh, I didn't get that inside information, you guys. Who do you think?
Well, we do know that they go out there and they make sure there's Dan Roan and Dave Check.
Oh, who's at the golf course? I thought you were asking.
No, I was saying who usually wins, but
yeah.
no recreational golfer gives their correct score anyway. So we know that, right? I mean,
right, of course.
And they had a good embrace before the game today and hugged one another and were smiling and laughing about a few things. There's a big 4th down for De La Salle. Need 5.
One-on-one at the top of the screen. Let's see if they take a shot.
Toss to Stanley. Going to be close.
Going to be very close, but he's going to be short.
Stanley hits the pitch and runs for the Pilots. Tackle made by 18.
At some point, De La Salle is going to have to, definitely steps out of bounds early. Thought he might have stayed in bounds and dived and dove across the first down line, but he stepped out of bounds. The ball's definitely short.
Jeff Lenartowicz made sure that Stanley was short of the line to gain, and they turn it over on downs. 108 yards of total offense so far from Mona Shores. Tough sledding in the middle of that De La Salle defense. We were talking about the embrace of these men today before the kickoff. And that's Matt Koziak and Dan Roan. Matt Koziak's one of those guys, a good friend of Dan Roan's, who said to him, do you know what you're getting into when you go out there to De La Salle? Dan Roan said, I do. Going to change the culture. Not looking back, instead moving forward with his guys, and it's been a heck of a story this year. Rose on a pitch. Pierce using some speed, tracked down at the 29-yard line. Brett Stanley made the tackle. He's got that runner's instinct and knew exactly what was going on for a loss of 3.
De La Salle has 7 guys in the box, and they're coming. You got 2 outside. One guy has the quarterback. The other guy has the running back. And he does a uniquely great job of running straight down the line of scrimmage, because if you run across the line of scrimmage, now he outflanks you. You run straight and you meet him. It's just geometry. All the kids at home that don't pay attention in math class, that's what football is. Angles and knowing what angle to take at which speed to get your guy. Stanley does a great job there at taking the proper angle.
30, and White's just a football player. Brady Rose looking for the edge, keeping the play alive. Oh, what a play! And a nice grab by Elijah Farnham.
Yeah, it's a flag on a play. He has enough for the first down if this flag is not on Mona Shores.
This is creativity right here, Devin.
This is a sign of a great dual-threat quarterback. Just draw him in, draw him in. You know you're getting to the side. Oh, you come up. That's my cue to throw the ball over your head. Very good job by Brady Rose. He has a unique feel when he's outside the pocket of what to do with the ball and when, and that's why he's been so successful, right? Because they have to worry about the threat of him crossing the line of scrimmage and hitting the big play. He waits, and then he dumps it right over the defender's head for a first down.
If you watch the beginning of our broadcast, there was a play similar to that when he made last week against Traverse City Central.
Yeah. Falling down, like almost like a fadeaway jump shot to the right. And it will be on Mona Shores.
Ineligible receiver, downfield. Number 55 on the offense. 5 yards from the previous spot. Still 3rd down.
The reason that happens is because the play was extended for so long, and even his own teammates, Brady Rose, they expect him sometimes to run down the field, right? So you get your lineman trying to go get blocks for you, you string the play along, and then you get the ball out and guys are downfield.
Yeah, it's tough for those offensive linemen. Remember, those are the guys with their back to the football. They're not knowing what's happening behind them. They're only thinking downfield, right? On a third down and 16. Rose from the pocket. Big arming it downfield. Looking for Farnham and off his fingertips. Almost there.
Wow.
And Rose will stay on and help the special teams because he is also this team's punter, folks.
Yes. You and I talked about what could he do? What would he be at Fair State? This is a big-time throw. Outside the numbers from the left hash, about 45 yards down the field. I mean, he drops it in the bucket. That's impressive. And then he stays on, obviously, to punt the ball away.
Yeah, he doesn't come off the field. Pressure comes, and he gets rid of it to Stanley at the 45. Stanley breaks the tackle. He's got a seam. Good return as he limps his way inside the 35 to about the 34-yard line. 6-0 Mona Shores, but a 20-yard return has put Warren De La Salle in good shape when we come back.
It's so easy to root for him. He's everyone loves an underdog. He's not 6'3", 220 pounds, with 5-star. You know, he looks like the average guy and doing incredible things. And I think people can get behind that and rally behind that and become a fan behind that.
Matt Koziak says his quarterback, Brady Rose, sees things others can't. Game is slowed down, knows where everyone is, makes a read on every play. He's never lost as a starting quarterback. Lost once in his JV season. He used to play slot receiver in 2018. And by the way, could play college baseball as a center fielder or a shortstop rather. But his passion is football. Leads this team in tackles with 66 coming into the game today. His defense trying to stop Warren De La Salle. Stanley feeling his way, keeping the play alive, and then he's dragged down by Brady Rose. Two of the best players in the state of Michigan. Look at the respect between them.
That's an impressive play by Brady Rose. This is where Brady Rose starts to play. He's going to find a way to get way over here as the play starts and stop this play from having any chance. I mean, I don't think you guys at home know how tough it is to come from the middle of the field and stop an outside zone play as the free safety. I mean, that is good closing speed and very good for Brady Rose.
And how did he stop tackling, that right?
Yeah, very good tackling.
I mean, it's one thing getting to the spot. It's another thing getting there and making the stop, and that's what he did. 2nd down and 9. And a flag on the play.
Gonna get him for a delay of game. The clock ran out.
Dead ball. Delay of game. Number 12 on the offense. 5 yards to the previous spot. Still 2nd down.
You can see what De La Salle's trying to do. They're trying to keep the ball away from Brady Rose, but you got to make sure you're cognizant of how much time you have on the play clock. You got him here in both end zones here at this magnificent facility, Ford Field. You got to make sure you pay attention to it. But remember, high school kids aren't used to it, right? You don't have play clocks at every single high school facility, and so that's a new thing for them in this game, and they have to be cognizant of how it's going.
So when you came here, did you make sure you would find that, make sure you're comfortable in finding it?
You got to make sure the first thing you do when you get in the stadium is find the play clocks, and we're down to 7 here.
Drogosh wants to throw. Nice pocket, has a man open and overshot him. Stanley was wide open, and Drogosh started to feel the heat a little bit and overthrew him.
Very well designed play. I mean, they got Stanley wide open for a walk-in touchdown. This is what he saw. It developed exactly how he wanted to. He got through his reads. He finds them. But when you're playing quarterback, right, and this is why I work with young quarterbacks, and I try to put as much pressure on them as possible, because there's no replication for that, right? You can't replicate that in the speed and the pain it feels, right, to make throws while you're getting hit. And so he wasn't ready for that hit, and he overthrows the receiver by quite a bit.
Carson Merrihew brought the pressure for Mona Shores. 1 for 3 on 3rd downs. Drogosh weaving his way through traffic. He'll keep it. Slide his way to the 34. Picked up 5, but needed 14.
Yeah, that last play is going to loom very, very important, right? You cannot miss gifts like that, right? Because this Mona Shores defense is very, very, you're exactly right. You're not going to get many opportunities. You have to take advantage of them when you have them, and they're going to go for it here on a 4th and a long 9.
4 wide receivers set for De La Salle.
Let's see if they don't try to take a shot at the top of the screen with one-on-one coverage.
Instead, almost picked off. Good coverage by Kewan Farnham. And De La Salle's turned away.
21, Kewan Farnham.
I thought they'd take a shot to the one-on-one at the top of the screen, but he takes a shot in the one place that was not one-on-one in the middle of the defense, right? You have a guy in the middle of the field plus man under. You have got to find a way to read the defense and find your matchup, and I think the matchup is one-on-one to the top of your screen.
They got to be careful. This Mona Shores team has 11 interceptions on the year.
Very opportunistic.
Yeah. It's averaging 1 a game. Rose with a handoff. Crawling his way for a nice gain is Dahir Farnham. Well, tune in tonight to watch your Detroit Pistons take on the Houston Rockets on Fox Sports Detroit Plus. Coverage begins with Pistons Live at 6:30. That's tonight. Pistons and Rockets at 6:30 on Fox Sports Detroit Plus. It's a more enjoyable team to watch. They may not be winning right now, but they are more enjoyable to watch. And I'll tell you this, Jeremy Grant can flat out get it done, can he? Rose with an inside handoff and getting to the 45-yard line is Farnham. Will Beasley on the tackle. Beasley's an interesting guy. 33 in white, I should say, is an interesting guy. His brother plays defensive end at MSU. And his brother actually called Dan Roan. They were talking earlier in the week or earlier in the season and stressing to make it fun for the kids. And that's what they've done. They've turned it around, had a bowling event where they really came together, and their season then took off. On a 1st and 10 for Mona Shores. Rose found an opening. That's all he needed to get into De La Salle territory before he's pinned at the 45. Another 1st down run and another tackle for Will Beasley.
Mona Shores, 1st down. Defensive stop by.
So he's going to read option, and it's a quarterback pull, right? It looks like read option, but they're pulling the guard around to make sure that they can get a lead blocker for Brady Rose going through the hole. They got to find a way to stop that play, because with 8 guys in the box, you got to force them to pass the ball. But if you have 8 guys in the box and they're still able to do what they want to do, which is run the ball, there's no reason for them to take shots. But 8 guys in the box again, one-on-one at the top of your screen and at the bottom.
Rose wants to throw. Down the sideline for Humphrey. Made a nice adjustment, but couldn't haul it in.
Incomplete pass intended for Gary Humphrey.
Deontay Dandridge with the coverage downfield for De La Salle.
That's where you want the ball. When your player is even, you want a little further outside. Brady Rose is going to wish he had that one back, but high and outside, your receiver sees it first, and the DB cannot find the ball when they're even. That allows you to make a play. Brady Rose wishes he put that a little further outside. But that's what they're going to have, Shep. They're going to have opportunities like that to get the ball down the field because of the way De La Salle's playing defense and how much they're committed to stopping not only Brady Rose, but the rest of the runners on Mona Shores offense.
Rose keeps it himself. Nothing doing. That hole was plugged up quickly, led by Jaden Conklin. Boy, we've talked a lot about 28 and 33 in white so far today on the defensive side of the ball. Those 2 linebackers are everywhere.
Yeah, Conklin's going to finish this day with at least 20 tackles. I mean, he is everywhere, and he meets Brady Rose in the hole with reckless abandon. It's just a quarterback power where Brady Rose is going to follow behind his guys. Boom! As soon as he sees them, when you see that helmet snap back, right, that's what you want to see. That's good football.
He's got 6 tackles. Beasley has 7. 3rd down and 9 for Mona Shores. Little misdirection to Pierce. Nice block on the outside as he gets close to the 35-yard line. Some credit there for guys downfield doing their job. Elijah Johnson was a nice block in front. Humphrey had a nice block in front as well.
Well-designed play and well-executed. You're going to have the offensive lineman pulling around with like a reverse action. Very good job and well-designed by these guys. Look at these big hogs getting out front. Got the running backs leading the way through. Very close. And on a 4th and 1, you usually think that with Brady Rose, you're going to have a chance of getting this first down.
Elijah Johnson is the lone tailback, Devin, from Mona Shores on a 4th and 1. He's to the left of Rose. Rose will keep it, get the first down. Plug his way inside the 30, down to the 27-yard line. He is hungry for more before Beasley stopped him.
I mean, Brady Rose is as strong as they come in this small frame. He's like the little engine that could. He is moving the pile.
9 yards to the good for Mona Shores to keep the drive alive. Rose again. Squeezed it inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. Mason Marigan made the tackle. Marigan's dad played at Central Michigan, has a lot of upside as a sophomore, long, quick, and athletic.
Mona Shores, off of this play action, they're going to want to get the ball out. They're going to want to get the ball outside. Maybe a slant here with the play action with this guy flying down trying to stop the run.
Johnson. Good job to tuck it inside the 20. Rolled right around the 19, 18-yard line or so. Needs to get to the 17. J.C. Ford made the tackle for De La Salle.
Stop short of the line of game, resulting in 3rd down and 1 at the 18.
Rose popped right in the mouth and driven backwards. Jaden Conklin and Brady Rose are getting to know one another really, really well.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Conklin. My goodness. Brady Rose must not have seen him coming. This is a one-on-one, man-on-man. I'm coming from the backside. Boom! What a hit. Doesn't even see him. Great job. I said it. Conklin's going to finish this game with 20-plus tackles.
Well, yeah, he's going to have double digits in the first half at this rate. He has been fantastic so far. These linebackers for De La Salle have been on the money, stopping Rose short. The MHSAA Football State Championships on Fox Sports Detroit are brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. By Meyer. Meyer knows when we support the home teams, we all win. And the Sparrow Health System. Wear a mask. Save a life. Sparrow Health System. With Devin Gardner, Brooke Fletcher, I'm Matt Shepard. Welcome to Ford Field. Honored to be with you as we call another season of all 8 state championship games in this beautiful facility. A 4th and short for Mona Shores. The 11th play of the drive upcoming.
Brady Rose, power to the right.
There you go. And he's got it. Boy, give some credit to the big fellas up front, too, right? Emmons, Millis, Sickinga, Flanders, and Kloss. They are moving the pile at the time they need to.
They've been able to do this quite a bit on 4th and 3rd and short. He just barrels his head in there. I need to go get 1 yard, and you got to trust Brady Rose can go get 1 yard.
Off the reset, Johnson right up the gut, spinning his way to the 9-yard line. Will Beasley in on the tackle. That's his 10th of the first half already. 33 has 10 tackles, and number 28 in white has 8. That is yeoman's work, my friend.
And these are violent tackles as well.
Yeah.
Not just pulling it to the ground.
2nd and 3. All the way. Touchdown! Mona Shores.
Touchdown.
Elijah Johnson.
Elijah Johnson, the ball carrier into the end zone for the touchdown, Sailors.
The threat of Brady Rose on the edge is widening the linebackers, and it's setting up the blocks for the offensive linemen. They're able to have advantageous angles, right? Football's about angles, and it's not just in running the ball, it's in blocking. And because the way Brady Rose is able to hurt defenses, the linebackers are following him, moving right in the position to be blocked, and they're clearing the way out for their running back.
Remember, on their last touchdown, the snap to Rose, the holder, was a little low, tough to handle. Good drive, capped off by Elijah Johnson's 11th rushing touchdown of the season. And now the extra point. Now they're going to pause for a moment. They're going to look at this. They'll look at this on a replay. They'll review it. Remember, in the finals, they do have instant replay. Only on scoring and turnover possibilities.
Tough on that angle, right? If we get another angle, maybe, but if it's not very clear, right? If you don't have a right down the line angle and it's not clear that it's not a touchdown, that you can't overturn it. That one, you can't say that it's clear that it's not a touchdown. It's one of those, just like in college, if they call it not a touchdown on the field, it'll stay that way. And here, because they called it a touchdown on the field, it's probably going to stand.
Ruling on the field with a touchdown. The ruling stands.
There it is.
Confirmed to make it 12-0.
Devin Gardner will attempt the extra point. Brady Rose, the holder.
So Keegan DeKuyper, a 3-year starter, is the kicker on this Mona Shores varsity squad. Out of the hold of Brady Rose. The kick is up, and the kick is good. A good snap by Mark Konechny, and a good hold. And it's now 13-0 Mona Shores.
Every team and every school has a story to tell, and how you can find those stories behind the score.
This last touchdown, I talked about how the linebackers are being deterred and worrying about Brady Rose. You're going to get a double here, right, to the linebackers, and they're going to watch this young man right here. The linemen are going to get to him, and he's going to get blocked for a second, and watch where his eyes go. Going to give the ball there. Look at his eyes. Look at his eyes. He lets the runner run right past him because he's looking at Brady Rose. He's trying to find where's Brady Rose. A lot of attention has been given to Brady Rose, and that's the reason the runner is allowed to essentially walk right past the leading tackler on the Pilots defense. Look at the eyes right there. He has no idea where the ball is, and he just assumes that Brady Rose probably has it.
Instead, it was Elijah Johnson, the downhill runner on this Mona Shores team. Blue-collar kid, just scored a blue-collar touchdown. Brett Stanley, nice reverse of direction to get to the 35-yard line. He is that type of player for De La Salle.
Brandon Banker, number 25, with the stop for
Now De La Salle's got to get something moving here offensively, Devin, because Mona Shores is averaging over 7 yards per play. Our feature on the incredible Brady Rose will come up at halftime, and what's made him one of the most unique Michigan high school football players, really of the modern era. We'll look ahead to the Division VI final between Clinton and Montague. Rob Rubik and I will have that one for you, and Devin Gardner breaks down the first half of today's game as well. Now, De La Salle's been able to move the ball a little bit.
Yeah.
But when they get behind the chains, that's when they struggle.
Yeah, they're going to have to show a little more trust in their quarterback, Brady Dragic, because they're not going to just be able to run the ball down the throat of Mona Shores. As you can see here, Mona Shores is prepared with their ears pent back and ready to stop the run.
Stanley on the first down carry. Carson Merrihew made the tackle. Hugh, the senior, wearing 24. He plays on both sides of the ball. He's been a really good blocker so far today. Drogosh on the throw. Catch is made. That's a first down after the catch by Devin Schmelzer.
Pass complete to Devin
Shep, you know, I always talk about quarterback play and how do you get your quarterback going, right, with easy throws, allowing your quarterback, if he's struggling to see the ball caught by his receivers is very important. That's a very good way of getting him going, right? Get him a quick throw, get a couple yards, get a first down, and now he feels good, and now you can drive down with only 44 seconds left in the half.
First catch of the day for Schmelzer, and now Drogosh will roll to the right. Off the edge, and it's intercepted. Right into the belly of Gary Humphrey. Check that. That's Kyrie Hamill. The linebacker dropped in coverage and had his second interception of the year. Well, Drogosh would like to have that one back.
For the Sailors at the Mona Shores 38.
At home, it's going to look like, well, he just threw the ball directly to the defender, right? He's expecting his receiver to be there, and he was not. He doesn't see the linebacker dropping into coverage. That is not good because this offense is explosive enough to get a play downfield and maybe try to get points before the half. A turnover was not what you needed. Muskegon Mona Shores has 3 timeouts with 37 seconds left.
You see the athleticism from Hamill, though. Up that snap over the head of Rose, and he immediately jumps on it at the 29-yard line. And that's what's needed. I mean, not just in college, but in high school. You've got those linebackers like Hamill who made that interception, who can not only come off the edge, not only can blitz up the middle, but they can drop in coverage and cause some problems for quarterbacks.
Yeah, they drop into coverage and they get underneath your throws, right? And so you got your eyes downfield and you hardly ever see them. And then out of nowhere, these hands pop up. You throw an interception. That's something that Drogosh is gonna want back when they were on their way to try to get points before the half.
The motto for Muskegon Mona Shores is rise. Last year it was grit, this year it's rise. And they picked the word rise because it's new territory for Matt Koziak. Part of that word means respond, improve, strive, and elevate. Well, all of that was done in half number 1 for the defending Division II state champions. They've got a 13-0 lead. We talk a lot about Brady Rose, and for good reason. But that defense for Muskegon Mona Shores has been dynamite. Brooke Fletcher gets more thoughts from their head coach, Matt Koziak. Brooke?
Thanks, Shep. Coach, Brady Rose and this offense have shown their explosiveness so far in this first half. What have you seen from them that you've liked so far?
Well, I love that, we haven't punted yet. That's also good. We had 3 possessions and scored on 2 of them. We had a 4th and 5 we didn't pick up that could have been costly, but our defense is really the tail of this half. They've done a great job shutting down so far a De La Salle team to 0 points, but obviously it takes 2 halves. We were down last week at halftime, so our kids understand the importance of a good second half.
Yeah, your defense got that big pick just before the half. What do you need to continue to see from them in the second half?
We need to stay on blocks, I think, a little better. Obviously that snap right before half, we can't have stuff like that puts us behind the sticks, but overall I'm proud of the way our coaches and kids have played.
All right, Coach, thank you so much. Back to you.
Yeah, Brooke, he should be proud because his defense allowed just 50 total yards of offense, and his offense is led by one of the more dynamic players in the entire state of Michigan. More on Brady Rose, the outstanding 2-way player for Muskegon Mona Shores, when we return to Ford Field with his team up 13-0 after this.
Welcome back. Mona Shores leads 13-0 here at halftime. Sitting at 5'7" and 172 pounds, Brady Rose might not be the biggest guy on the field, but hey, he sure does play like it. He has proven that he is a force to be reckoned with. Our very own Mickey York sat down with Muskegon Mona Shores' Swiss Army knife.
Grit. Greatness. Baller.
In one of the wildest high school football seasons ever, Muskegon Mona Shores senior Brady Rose has put together one of its finest. A performance that took shape at the end of last season when Brady rose from backup quarterback to lead his team to the Division II state championship.
Maybe they didn't even know I was a quarterback, and then being surprised one game before maybe gave them a little bit less time to figure our team out with a new quarterback. So everybody rallied around me. They knew I could do it. They knew they had my back, I had their back. So I've been playing quarterback for a long time, and they had my back, and we got the job done.
His ability to be able to slow the game down and see what everybody's doing makes him real special. I couldn't do it, you know, and I know a lot of other players can't do and see the field like he does.
In an era of specialties, Rose is a throwback, always on the field, throwing for 958 yards and 11 touchdowns. He rushed for over 1,300 yards and 22 touchdowns. On defense, he led the team with 66 tackles and returned 3 of his 6 interceptions for touchdowns. He also happens to return kicks, handles the punting duties, and is the placeholder for field goals and PATs.
The one time I see him get really tired was that second pick last Saturday. He's over here dodging, weaving, juking, and everything. Then he falls down, and I run up to him. I'm like, yeah, good stuff, man. He's just laying there. He's like, hold on a minute. He goes, I'm so tired.
He got to have the ball in his hands. When he has the ball in his hands, some special things happen.
There's no specialty holders for placements on that team. He does it. There's not a specialty punter on that team. He does that. He runs kickoffs back. He is the punt returner. It's a throwback kind of feeling, you know, to when maybe we played. Very refreshing. Extremely refreshing.
Rose is the son of a coach. Ken Rose served as the head coach at Mona Shores for 7 seasons from 2004 to 2010. From under that roof, Brady learned what it takes to be a great player and leader.
He coached me from 4th grade all the way through 8th grade, and after 8th grade, he probably didn't even stop coaching me from home and over film and stuff. So I'd say I probably learned pretty much everything from him. Not wanting to give up and not wanting to quit and doing everything for their team to get to where we want to be.
Everybody respects Brady a lot, and he's definitely the leader on our team. We have leaders on our team, but he's like the leader. And once he says something, people listen.
He's just the most humble kid, type of kid you would want your daughter to date. A great student, great in his classroom. You know, his teachers rave about him, his friends rave about him. He is just, you know, a lot of times you would say he's too good to be true. You know, there's no arrogance about him. He just plays the game like you would want every kid to play the game.
Brady Rose hits the accelerator, and he's gone.
Rose stands tall amongst his peers, despite the fact he's not that big at all. At 5'8" and around 170 pounds, he's often one of the smallest players on the field. But so is Barry Sanders, and he sprinted into the Hall of Fame with over 15,000 rushing yards in his 10-year NFL career. Spud Webb soared in a field of giants. Just 5'7", he played 12 years in the NBA and won a slam dunk contest. Tape measures can't account for the size of someone's heart.
Size definitely isn't a factor, especially for him.
It's pretty cool because I'll be on some guy, I'll be blocking, and I look over my shoulder every once in a while, and I see Brady just running upfield, or he's gone, or he's burning everyone, so it's like, oh, all right, nice, touchdown. That was a short drive.
It's pretty crazy to think about that I'm up with those Division I big-time players, and just for a little guy like me, just to be up with those big guys and those big-time players is awesome.
It's so easy to root for him. He's everyone loves an underdog. He's not 6'3", 220 pounds, with 5-star. You know, he looks like the average guy and doing incredible things, and I think people can get behind that and rally behind that. I've had so much fun. I know our staff has had so much fun. I know his teammates have enjoyed having him, and he gets to put that Mona Shores helmet on one more time and leave an unbelievable legacy, win or lose.
Coach Koziak said not only is he athletic, but it's his football IQ that makes him so successful, and that's why he's been so good in this game, getting Mona Shores on the board first. Mona Shores leads 13-0 here at halftime.
High
High school football fans, stay with us after the game because the MHSAA football finals continue. Coming up at 4:30, the Division 6 title game. Montague taking on Clinton. Find out who will take home the trophy on your home for the high school football finals. Fox Sports Detroit. That's not it either, because at night it'll be Dan McLean's Detroit Country Day squad against Cadillac at 7:30. We already had Centerville win their first ever championship. They beat Ubley. Here we are halfway through Division 2 with Mona Shores leading by 13. The second half kickoff is next. The MHSAA Football State Championships from Ford Field on Fox Sports Detroit are brought to you by Goodman Acker, Detroit's trusted law firm. By Chocolate Milk, the official beverage of the MHSAA. By Addicts. Visit addictsportswear.com to start your custom order today. And by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. Mask up, Michigan. Spread hope, not COVID. Muskegon Mona Shores has spread the wealth a little bit on offense. A couple of rushing touchdowns, including this one from Elijah Johnson from 9 yards out. It has given the defending state champions a 13-0 lead. Mona Shores took the opening drive, 86 yards. They had 5 runs, averaged over 17 yards per run. Brady Rose capped it off with a touchdown, 12-yard able to plunge it in there. And then Elijah Johnson, just before the half, finished off a 13-play, 66-yard drive in which Mona Shores kept it over 6 minutes. Devin Gardner, anything jump out at you on the first half stats?
I mean, Mona Shores is dominating the game. 50 total yards of offense for De La Salle. A lot of them made about the Mona Shores offense, but their defense has come to play today.
De La Salle will get the football to start the second half. Their head coach, Dan Roan, talks with our Brooke Fletcher to see what kind of adjustments when we come back. De La Salle's coaching staff has been respecting their players all season long of their willingness to fight and stay the course. What kind of halftime adjustments do they need to make? Dan Roan is here to talk about it with Brooke Fletcher. Brooke?
Coach, you said the biggest challenge for your team today was to stop Brady Rose. How do you slow him down in the second half?
You know, I think our defense did a lot of good things. The problem is our offense put our defense in a lot of bad situations. Let them grind us out a little bit, and then our kids started guessing at some schemes and got out of our technique. So, for the most part, I'm happy with what our defense has done. It's our offense that's put our defense in bad position.
Yeah, speaking of offense, what adjustments do you make in order to get something going in the second half?
I think we got to adjust the tempo a little bit. You know, I think they're checking a lot of stuff once we make our calls at the line of scrimmage and stealing signs or whatever. Who knows what's going on, but we got to adjust our tempo and get after it a lot faster. And if we can do that and keep running the ball and not put ourselves behind the chains, I think we'll be all right.
All right, thanks, Coach. Matt, back to you.
Brooke, thank you very much. Dan Roan has to be pleased with his defense overall. 30 plays run by Mona Shores, but Conklin and Beasley have combined for 17 tackles of those 30 plays. That means 33 and 28 are carrying the load on the defensive side of the ball. Now, the question is, can the offense draw some blood here?
Yeah, they're going to have a tough time completely shutting down Brady Rose, as we saw in that first half. So the pilots of De La Salle, their offense is going to have to assist the defense, just like Coach Roan talked about. Let's see if they can get something going here on the first drive of the second half.
Dev, look, if you're Dan Roan and you said at the half you're going to hold Brady Rose to 4 yards passing, you'd feel pretty good about that.
I feel really good about that, right?
Yeah.
You held him below what he does, right? You're not allowing him to completely be the Brady Rose that everybody knows, the Mr. Football candidate. But how long can you do that is the question.
Right. Brent Stanley is back deep for De La Salle to receive the kickoff. Our second half is underway. And that'll go out of bounds.
The free kick goes out.
What do you like about what De La Salle's offense did in the first half? I get that they were shut out, but what do you like that they could build on in the second half?
It was their heart and soul. Stanley, they have to stay with him, right? You're not too far out of this game that you just start making
out of bounds on the kicking team. 5 yards from the previous spot. Free kick.
You don't try to reinvent yourself, right? You don't come out and throw the ball 5 to 6 times in a row and throw 40 passes this half, right? You stay with what you've done, but you cannot have the mistakes, right? They've been able to move the ball just a bit, right? But as soon as they get something going, there's a mistake, right? There's an interception. There's something that goes wrong. You cannot have those things. You almost got to play a perfect game against this Brady Rose-led Mona Shores team.
Penalty, getting behind the chains, tackle for loss. Unable to sustain the longer part of the drive that would get them into the end zone. They've been able to move the football just a little bit. This one's squibbed on the turf, and Stanley, like a shortstop, scoops it up at the 20. Feeling his way to about the 38-yard line. Earlier today, history made here at Ford Field for Centerville. They won their first ever state championship. Senior Sam Todd threw a couple of touchdowns. That catch right there was awesome. I'm telling you, that is one for not just a personal highlight reel, but one for the ages in MHSAA football history. And this one just as good by his favorite receiver. And what a celebratory mood they were in, and rightfully so. 22-0. They beat Ubley and walk off with their first ever crown.
Shep, I was on that call, and Tyler Swanwick had 2 catches coming into that game on the season. He had 97 yards in just that one game alone.
New quarterback for De La Salle, J.C. Ford, the senior, and the runner, and to the outside. And he is able to slip all the way to the 46-yard line before Brady Rose made the tackle. Ford played a lot of the year, tore a ligament in his thumb, and is back in there here for his first snap at the quarterback position.
Just an outside zone, right? Similar to the way Brady Rose is able to play. Outside zone with your quarterback, get him on the edge quickly, and they do it again here.
And another carry forward for a first down. Let's see what kind of life Ford gives the offense a little bit. Not that you're blaming it on one kid, but look.
You thought Roan kind of looked at the offense and said, hey, leader of the offense is our quarterback, and he's not helping our defense much. You thought he might make a change.
Well, remember, Dan Roan told Brooke Fletcher, we've got to go with more tempo. Ford gives you that. Drogosh, the sophomore, more of a thrower. Ford, more of a runner.
Shep, you love baseball. It's like a changeup, right?
Yeah.
You just throw that in there, throw that changeup in there so they can't see exactly, but look who's on the tackle once again. Brady Rose out of the middle of the field.
Ford rushed for over 500 yards on the year. This is his 3rd straight carry. Slipping his way inside the 35 down to about the 32. You can see De La Salle, the body language a little different up front.
Yeah.
They're feeling it, aren't they?
Yeah. He's getting to the outside. I mean, they're just running quarterback sweep left, quarterback sweep right, quarterback sweep left, quarterback sweep right. But Brady Rose is scooting down into the box because he doesn't respect the threat of the pass.
Big hit right there.
And that's what happens.
Kyrie Hamill, who had the pick at the end of the first half, comes in, sticks his nose in there to make a tackle for loss.
Right, Brady's down. Now everybody's selling out for the run, right? You haven't proven that you're going to throw the ball, so.
Great form, and now Drogosh is back watching J.C. Ford.
At linebacker position.
Yeah. Ford slipping inside the 30 to about the 28-yard line, 29 or so. Bottom of the tackle there is Elijah Johnson.
De La Salle got a great spark, right? They got a great spark. Now they're going to have to prove that they can put the ball in the air so that they can keep Mona Shore's defense honest.
Ray and Stanley are the running backs, with J.C. Ford, the senior, out of the pistol formation on a 3rd and 7.
The safety standing at 6 yards, Shep. They do not respect the threat of the pass
That's
at all.
An inside give, and that's a big first down run inside the 15-yard line. That's Rhett Rozier, the freshman, barrels his way for the biggest run of this game for De La Salle. He picked up 15.
Wait, Shep, did you say freshman?
Yeah, that's a big boy, isn't he?
Big fella is moving. They might want to feed him just a little bit more. That type of kid will wear down the defense.
Yeah, somebody's feeding him, that's for sure. Same play. Dragging tacklers down to the 5-yard line.
That's a big man moving fairly fast.
He's built, isn't he?
He is built.
My goodness.
He's going to get it here like on a kind of a jet sweep type action and just dragging tacklers. At the end here, you're going to see the Mona Shores defender, 51, DJ Cavanis, but he's given a spark as well.
From the 4, Ford tumbles his way into the end zone, and De La Salle
a drive by the De La Salle Pilots. And Shep, there was nothing fancy. That's what I like most. Nothing fancy. Hey, our quarterback isn't giving us a chance. Let's insert a new quarterback. We play a little differently. Let's add some tempo. Let's insert a big freshman running back, and let's get the ball in the end zone and make sure they know we're here to stay. We didn't come this far just to come this far.
Even on the 3rd and long, they took care of business. Cody Cummins is on for the extra point, but his kick is up and through. Sweeped it just inside the right upright. What an adjustment by Dan Roan. He told our Brooke Fletcher, we got to play with more tempo. They did just that. J.C. Ford had 7 carries for 37 yards. The last one to pay dirt to get his team within 6. Well, J.C. Ford gave De La Salle the shot of enthusiasm that maybe that offense needed. And very similar to what Brady Rose did for Mona Shores last year in the semifinals, in which they started to run a lot more veer, and the opposition wasn't ready for it. Mona Shores taken aback a little bit because of J.C. Ford's ability to run the football and run the offense that way.
I can tell you Mona Shores was not looking forward to seeing Drogosh run the quarterback power and the quarterback sweep. But this young man, Ford, came in this game, and Mona Shores was not prepared for this changeup. Well done by Coach Roan, getting in the locker room and trying to find a way to make sure he can manufacture some offense, right? With 50 yards of total offense in the first half, that last drive equals that. Very good job getting his team going and moving within a touchdown.
Yeah, just 50 yards in the first half, 63 yards on that drive alone. Mona Shores trying to get it back. And a jitterbug move to get past the 40 all the way up to the 44. Keewan Farnham with a nifty return to put Mona Shores offense in really good shape to start this 3rd quarter and their first drive of this frame. Good return by Farnham.
Very good return.
Along with 34, Brooke Fletcher makes a stop for the Pilots. First down and 10 for Mona Shores.
Let's see how Mona Shores answers here. First drive of the second half. Let's see if they can keep the same momentum and tempo that they had in the first half.
Rose just 4 yards throwing in the first half against a very stout De La Salle defense. Pierce off the jet motion up to the 46. Will Beasley, another tackle. Dan Roan, the head coach at De La Salle. He's used to making adjustments, right? At West Catholic, he won 4 titles there. He won at Fremont as well before he went to West Catholic. He was a runner-up at West Catholic in addition to the 4-time champion. And then came to De La Salle to, as we mentioned earlier, change the culture because of some issues that De La Salle had. These kids have gone through a lot of change. An entire staff, an entire administration. The philosophy is there, and Dan Roan told them, look, we got to get back to our winning ways. He told their seniors, look, you've done everything we've asked to get back where we expect it to be. We are building this program on love and discipline. I will coach you harder than you've ever been coached before, but it will pay off.
You heard that sentiment in the interview post-game after the Oak Park win from Stanley, just talking about how they expected to be here. They expected to be where they are today, and he was happy that they're back where they're supposed to be in the state championship.
Mona Shores 1 for 5 on 3rd downs, Devin. They need to get 7 to keep the drive alive. Rose will throw. Farnham on the edge, broke a tackle, and that should be just enough.
Just enough.
Nifty move right after the catch. Tyler Gerling knocked him out of bounds.
It's a great job. Just quickly get it out, and you automatically outflank the defense. Great blocking on the edge, and that little skip step is what got him the first down to make sure he doesn't get stopped short. That was very important, right? Because the momentum is all on the side of De La Salle. But if Mona Shores can drive down and score, they can steal a little of that momentum back.
Rose with a give to Johnson, going the other way.
I talked about in the first half that De La Salle, with 8 in the box, wasn't able to stop the run, and they didn't force Mona Shores to use the passing game as much as they might have needed to. They're looking like they're finding a way right now, and they might have to put the ball in Brady Rose's hands to throw the ball on first down a few times just to loosen up this De La Salle defense that has their ears pinned back, and they are ready to stop the run.
Mason Moragan on that tackle with Jaden Conklin, 2nd down and 9. Rose fakes the pass, and then the inside give. That's a good run by Johnson as he spins his way for a first down carry to the 32.
Elijah Johnson on the carry, first down for Mona Shores.
I really love the variety in the playbook of Mona Shores, right? You fake the pass and you get it to your running back, and that's a nice run, right? Trying to get more. That's what you come to the state championship to do. You try to get more. He tries to get more there, gets a few extra yards, but most importantly, he gets a first down.
Got 13 on that carry. It's 1st and 10. Johnson again. Bowled over at the line of scrimmage. Who else? Conklin and Beasley combined on the tackle.
We've made a lot about Brady Rose and what he can do, but they are doing a lot without him because of him. And if that doesn't make sense to you, let me explain. He is drawing so much attention from the defense. He's allowing all of his teammates, all of his buddies to make a ton of plays. They got a bunch of chunk plays from the others, right? You hear Shaq on TNT talk about the others, right? You have the big 3 on your NBA team, but the others are doing it today for Brady Rose.
Rose on a throw on a slant, and it's intercepted. It's picked off by DeAndre Dandridge. And let's see if De La Salle can use that as additional momentum. Tipped at the line of scrimmage, and Dandridge, I should say, with great concentration with his 3rd pick of the season.
That's the biggest play of the game to this point. Brady Rose trying to get a slant, and this is why people talk about the shorter quarterback, right? He just doesn't see the linebacker, right? You have to throw in and try to anticipate. He tries to anticipate. The linebacker slides outside, similar to the way Brady Rose would do it. Tips it up right into the hands of Dandridge. Very nice play by De La Salle as Mona Shores is driving down to try to get points on the board. Mr. Momentum has changed his address.
Jaden Conklin is the one who tipped it, and then Dandridge hauled it in. Let's see what De La Salle can do with it. To the edge, good-looking freshman Rozier with positive yards.
Yeah. Ford is back on the field. They're going to stick with him, right? You got that
You
spark.
have to, don't you?
You have to, absolutely. How about that big, talented running back, freshman?
A heck of a 1-2 punch because Brett Stanley's in now to the right. And they give it to Stanley. Left side, first down carry as he tight ropes his way in front of the De La Salle sideline before Brady Rose nudged him out of bounds. A gain of 11.
Right, they've had success with this big freshman coming around, coming through. Now they're going to bring him through and then afterwards take this around. Very good job. A little bump on the exchange, but very good job by Stanley getting on the edge, getting around.
Ford fumbled it and forced to hover over it at the 49-yard line of Mona Shores.
Just took his eye off of it, trying to run without the ball, right? He's in such a groove, right? They found their groove. They know exactly what they want to do. They have a plan. You got to make sure you get the ball first, though.
Behind the sticks now, 2nd down and 14.
I don't know, Shep. I think De La Salle's, they're kind of putting themselves at a disadvantage going slow now. Right, going fast is what got them where they are, but it's a long down and distance, right? A second and very long, so trying to get the right play. But going fast is what's keeping Mona Shores on their heels.
So 2nd possession of the 3rd. Ford will keep it. That's a fine line, isn't it? Between when you're behind the sticks, hurrying up, you don't want to get further behind the sticks, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's who you were on that first drive of the 3rd when you're most successful.
That's why you've had any success in this game at all. And do you want to get away from that? It's interesting to see here. Will they put the ball in the air before? We Haven't seen him do it just yet, but on 3rd and very long with Mona Shore's defense ready to stop the run. Let's see if they give it a shot.
Ford is just 3 for 11 on the year through the air. He will throw here. Squares his shoulders and incomplete. Intended for his wide receiver, Alton McCollum.
Sideline looking for a pass interference. That's very well covered. I think that's a ball that should be caught. That's not a badly thrown ball. He rolls left. He puts the ball in the hands of his receiver. You don't want pass interference. You want the catch. Got to make that catch.
And the pressure coming from Carson Merrihew. He has been in the face of the De La Salle quarterbacks all day, and he is that kind of guy. He's that linebacker who Matt Koziak says is an in-your-face, a throwback type of linebacker. He's had a nice game so far. De La Salle takes their poison and decides to punt it away. Brady Rose lets it go, and it's smothered at the 1-yard line. A great job by Rhett Rozier. The freshman hustled down there and flipped the field for De La Salle. What a play. We've seen him with some big runs, and now a special teams play. 13-7. Mona Shores leads it. De La Salle has changed gears a little bit here in the second half. They thought they just made a spectacular special teams play, downing at the 1-yard line. Then they reversed the call, Devin.
They reversed the call because the guy rolls into the end zone with the football. If you touch it at the goal line, that's fine, but the ball cannot cross the plane of the goal line, and it does that very clearly here. Referees might not have had a very good view of it, but he touches it there, but he rolls with the ball in the end zone. So that's a touchback every day of the week. Yeah, he's got to stop that ball dead, right? And that's the big freshman, right? He doesn't quite understand just yet, right? First year in football at this level. He doesn't know the rules, apparently, but he's going to want that one back next time.
Good hustle downfield for the freshman. Tough to stop your momentum once you've covered it. You'll see teams in the NFL, they go in there and they just bat it back and hope one of their teammates are able to deaden it. It was a good effort on a 1st and 10. Rose. And this Muskegon Mona Shores offense has been stifled. This is a really good De La Salle defense, Devin. I mean, we've talked about the offensive players, and for good reason, but these two defenses have been special, don't you think?
Yeah, those two linebackers, Will Beasley and his running buddy, have been amazing. Conklin, I mean, they are everywhere, all over the field, making tackle after tackle, and they've been in the face of Brady Rose quite a bit today.
Jimmy Milkey III made that tackle. It's 2nd down and long. Elijah Johnson gets the carry here, and he's going to be stuffed. Another nice play by Mason Morgan. 88 in white is just a sophomore, and what a future for that young man off the edge.
Now, this is going to be on Brady Rose. His read key is right here, the defensive end. The defensive end is going to crash down, and Brady Rose should pull this ball out, but he doesn't. He gives it, and it's a tackle for loss. Great job by De La Salle's defense, confusing Brady Rose and making him make a bad decision.
3rd and 11, a throwing situation. Rose flush from the pocket. Needs some help. It's nowhere to be found. Down he goes. Good coverage back in the secondary. Dylan Weaver, the 3-year starter, defensive tackle, finished him off.
Wow. Think about it, Shep. Momentum. And you know, people say, well, a guy like Tom Brady, he doesn't play defense. How can you give him credit for the defense playing inspired? When the defense feels that they have a chance, but the new quarterback inserted into the game, they play inspired, and that's what they're doing right now. Brady Rose can't gain a yard because they feel they have a chance with the insertion of J.C. Ford.
And now De La Salle will take over at their own 45-yard line. So, you know, just 55 yards to try and get at least a share of the lead. De La Salle, a suburb in Warren, Michigan, of Metro Detroit, and Muskegon on the beautiful shores of Lake Michigan. You said it earlier, Mona Shores, coming from the Native American word Ojibwa Chippewa, which means marsh. De La Salle founded in 1926, relocated to Warren in 1982. third time that these two teams have played for a state championship in the last 7 years. De La Salle won the previous two. One in 2018 and 2014. Ford with a keeper into the boundary. And they have figured something out. Kyrie Hamill made the tackle, but Devin, De La Salle's doing something different here. It can't be just one guy, can it?
No, I think so. They feel inspired, right? They feel like they have a chance. They have a guy that can put them in position. That tightrope on that play, right? That play should be stopped for at the best. No gain. He tightropes the sideline, strings out as far as he can, gets a lot of yards.
Now he carries forward for a first down run. You know who he looks like, don't you?
He looks like Tim Tebow.
He looks like Brady Rose.
He does look like Brady Rose. And that's interesting because last year, River Rouge versus Muskegon, Marion Rabowski took the role of Cameron Martinez, and he looked exactly like him as far as running the ball and being explosive as a runner. And now you see the same thing happening to Mona Shores and Brady Rose.
Rozier. Bounce into the outside and then tackled. A good tackle made by Gary Humphrey. Not just the tackle, folks. Watch him shed the block. This is not easy to do.
I love how the DBs come up and tackle and how the linebackers scrape across the line of scrimmage. Very good job. You can see him right here, right? Stopping and making sure that play goes for no yards.
Good-looking cornerback, the senior at 5'11", $185. It's now second down and 11. Ford has command of this offense. You can tell he's comfortable. Rozier cut it up. Oh, squared his shoulders, got inside the 35. It's a good hard-nosed run. He ran right over Brady Rose for a big gainer.
I love watching Brett Stanley run the ball, but this kid has come to play. They've inserted him, and he has been a breath of fresh air as well, along with J.C. Ford. He is punishing everyone. I don't see Brady Rose getting pushed back like that very often.
Yeah, you're going to feel that the next day. Ford on a keeper, but look at who's there. It's Kyrie Hamill and Carson Merrihew. The two linebackers for De La Salle have gotten a lot of pub, and they have lived up to it. Well, there's a couple of linebackers wearing powder blue who are pretty darn good, too. This has been a good game. It's been a physical game. They're punching each other in the mouth. Who will be left standing? The fourth quarter's next.
Welcome back. Mona Shores getting ready to for this fourth quarter. The Sailors are playing for one of their own today. Senior Devin Gibbs has had quite the senior year. Last September, he had only one game under his belt before being diagnosed with leukemia. Since then, he's been in and out of Helen DeVos Children's Hospital in Grand Rapids. He spent his 18th birthday there, spent Christmas there with his mother, Vanessa, by his side. Now, ironically, last week, when Mona Shores won the semifinals, at that very same time, he was finishing his third round of chemo. Now, to honor him, the entire team is wearing an orange sticker on their helmet with his initials. Now, unfortunately, he can't be there on the sidelines with his team, but we know he's watching, cheering his teammates on, guys.
And we're rooting for him, Brooke. That is an emotional story for sure. And Matt Koziak has told us, look, because of that, I've become a better coach. It's reinforced to him why he coaches the game. Get a chance to impact young people. So rewarding. And all of them carrying Devin with them today. It's a 4th and 5 for De La Salle. J.C. Ford rides the inside fake, carries it. He stopped at the 30, and Muskegon Mona Shores denies them of a drive that might have ended up in the end zone. Gary Humphrey with another key tackle.
I mean, it's because Mona Shores' defense does not. Brady Rose is a safety. Look where Brady Rose is. He is way down here, ready to stop. Like, the safety is at 5 to 6 yards on every play because they know that Ford hasn't proven that he's going to pass the ball regularly, and that's why that play is able to be stopped, right? Everybody can play freely. De La Salle has to manufacture ways to get easy throws so that they can at least have the threat of throwing the ball.
8th tackle of the day for Gary Humphrey, who stays in as the wide receiver. Elijah Johnson cut it back past the 35 all the way up to the 38-yard line. Will Beasley trailed him and finally made the tackle.
They've had some success with that fake bubble, essentially running back draw, because you have to respect that Brady Rose will throw the ball, and you don't want him to immediately outflank your defense, so the linebackers have to hold for a second, which sets up blocking lanes for the linemen, and that's why those plays are being successful, and they've run them quite a bit in this second half.
And that's the difference, right? Because Rose can throw it, and he's proven it. Flag on the play, bounce into the outside, and Johnson wrapped up by Tyler Gerling. Might be a holding call here. Let's see what the flag indicates.
Had a lot of bodies on the ground there. I don't know if everybody got a pancake.
Personal foul. Chop block on the offense. Number 56, number 52. 15 yards from the spot of the foul. Second down.
You see bodies on the ground, and that means it's like a post chop where you're engaged and someone comes and takes your legs out. That's a thing that you don't want happening. They use that penalty for safety.
Huge penalty against Matt Koziak's club. They march it all the way back to the 23-yard line or so.
Yep, it's very quick, right? One guy's chopping, the other one's trying to get engaged up top. You can't do both, and you got to call that penalty every time.
Second down and 19. Rose still has it. Came out of the pile. Look out. Into De La Salle territory. Still on his feet. They can't bring him down. Inside the 15. That's as good a run as you'll find at the high school level anywhere.
Shep, what did I call him earlier? The little engine that could, and he continues to be that. Chugga, 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 chugga. Toot, toot. He won't be brought down by one man. He's continuing to rumble. That's the type of player that they have on their sideline. Well, rarely for Brady Rose on their sideline, always on the field. This is an exciting run, and the things that we've seen, this is when Brady Rose shines brightest, in the fourth quarters of great games. He's been in a lot of close games this year, and he's proven that he always has the gas in the tank to finish.
Picked up 65 on that run. Broke tackles, spun away from tackles. If he had a tearaway jersey, he'd be dancing in 6. Instead, his team is dancing inside the De La Salle 15-yard line. Let's see if they can punch it in when we come back. Brady Rose is at it here today. Last week against Traverse City Central, he accounted for 5 total touchdowns to get his team to this spot right here. He threw for a touchdown, he ran for a few, and he also had a pick 6. It's a massive reason, the primary reason, his team beat Traverse City Central 43-30, and now are trying to defend their state championship. He is one of 4 up for the state champs, Mr. Football finalist. 3 of those young men are on our air this weekend. Donovan Edwards tomorrow in Division I West Bloomfield, Tyler Holtz in DeWitt, and of course Brady Rose here today.
Shep, how about this? That game you just described last week was one of his worst games, right? It wasn't his best game. Really? Earlier this year, he scored 5 different ways, right? Yeah. Not 5 different ways. The game last week, just 3 different ways, 5 times.
Yeah, the 5th way a couple weeks back was a receiving touchdown as well. He got popped at the line of scrimmage, balanced up, and stayed there. Yeah, not too long ago, as to Devin's point, he had a kick return for a score, a punt return for a score, threw for a score, ran for 1, and was on the receiving end of a touchdown as well as a pick 6. So that tells you something about his all-around ability.
In the open, I referenced Tom Harmon. Probably people were thinking, whoa, whoa, whoa. Take a second. But what you just described was insane.
Yeah, that is Tom Harmon. That's why he won Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
When he was at the University of Michigan. Second down and 10. See if Rose puts it up. Nope. It's a little delay here to Elijah Johnson. Good job by J.C. Ford on the tackle. Johnson with 1 touchdown. Ford with a touchdown as well.
That's been their bread and butter in the second half. The fake pass, running back draw. it's had some success, right? They get three or four on that play. Now they have a big third down. You have to expect that this is probably 4-down territory for Mona Shores.
They are 2 for 7 on third downs. Now, they do have a kicking game. Cody Cummins has made one actually for 50 yards. And they're 3 for 4, but with this offense, let's see. On a pitch. This is Keandre Pierce. Spun out of a tackle, touchdown. Oh, that's a whale of a run right there for the senior wide receiver, Keandre Pierce.
He just set him up for that B button to spin back. And you always tell her, hey, don't spin back into the teeth of the defense. Well, if you have this skill, you definitely do it. Excuse me, let me spin back and into the end zone. What a play. What a play. He set him up the entire time. You see that little acceleration at the end of the run to stop and then spin back. Very good job. Watch this. He's going to go, accelerate. Oh, no. Gotcha. Very good job. Very good job. Going for 2 here.
And a timeout, Mona Shores.
Mona Shores, timeout. For second.
Shep, did you have this move in your repertoire back in the day? I mean, he sees him the whole time, but never looks at him, right? So number 4, he thinks, right? He thinks that he can't see him. I'm at a loss for words right now. He never even looks at him, knows that he's there, stops, throws him to the side, spins back, and gets in the end zone for his team. And once again, right, the others, right, Brady Rose sets it up with the long touchdown, the long run, and then the others are able to get in the end zone. Great job by Gary Humphrey.
Listen, I had that move, but I tore my ACL when I did it. Matt Koziak, I thought it was pretty interesting. Matt Koziak, these kids have been together. 95% of them played together since middle school. During this shutdown, startup, shutdown again, you know how they stayed connected to one another? They played video games. It forced them to talk with one another on their headsets and think football. I thought it was really cool how now. And Matt Koziak admitted, I'm not a gamer. I'm not one of those guys who said, "Come on, let's get in front of the TV and start playing games on video screens." But it did help these kids think along the lines of football and communicate with one another.
If they're playing Madden, Madden is the best simulator for reading coverages and things like that.
Let's see what they read here as they go for the 2-point conversion. Rose can throw it. If he wants, he does across his body, and it is incomplete. Intended for Elijah Johnson. The 2-point conversion fails. Jaden Conklin broke it up.
That's an incomplete pass, but the savvy of Rose, knowing the situation, right? It's a 2-point play. So if you throw an interception, first of all, it doesn't go in your stats. That's the first thing. Secondly, you throw it up, and if something good happens, great. But if not, you can't return it for a touchdown, so there's no harm done. Strings out as long as he can and floats it up in the end zone to see what happens.
19-7 the lead, thanks to Keandre Pierce's 3rd rushing touchdown of the year. For more on the good-looking wide receiver, there's Brooke Fletcher. Brooke?
Yeah, Shep, Coach Koziak was talking about how experience is one of this team's strengths, and Keandre is a huge example of that. This is his 3rd year in a row playing at Ford Field, and he talked about him as a leader. He's silent, but he's that player that does things the right way. He just goes out, does his job every game, and that's the kind of kid you want to coach, guys.
Yeah, there's no question about it. It helps to have the skill, doesn't it, Brooke? Matt Koziak could talk about him being quiet, but he is loud on the field with his ability, and he has given Mona Shores a 19-7 lead with about 9.5 remaining in this 2020 season. Keegan DeKuyper will kick it deep. Brett Stanley awaits. Well, they positioned that kick well. Stanley not quite to the 30-yard line. So how did we get here? Well, it's been a ground attack for both teams. Neither team has been able to put the ball in the air. It was Brady Rose capping off an early drive to make it 6-0. Then Elijah Johnson and Muskegon Mona Shores led it 13-zip. At the break, De La Salle comes out. They change quarterbacks. That gives them a spark. They pull to within 6. And then Keandre Pierce answers right back. Mona Shores heavy on the time of possession. And neither team doing a great job of moving the chains on third down.
Now down 2 scores. You're going to need to get the ball to the end zone quickly so that the time doesn't run out, right? Mona Shores holds on to the ball because of the way they play offense. So time is at a premium. You got to quickly move this ball down the field.
The touchdown drive for De La Salle lasted a little bit more than 2.5 minutes. That's what they need here. Stanley did a decent job just to not lose like 10 more yards because Gary Humphrey and Kyrie Hamill were all over it. Instead, it's a -3 or so, and it'll be second down and long, putting them behind the chains right away.
Shep, when you got all 11 guys committed to stopping the run, it's hard, right? It's hard to do anything. They have completely said, hey, if you're not going to throw the ball, we're just going to run all our guys to the ball.
Yeah, De La Salle's basically saying we become one-dimensional.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah. Even though with that 1 dimension, they're having a lot more success than they had with the 2 dimensions. But I don't know. They're going to have to manufacture ways to get easy throws for J.C. Ford.
Yeah, they rushed for more yards in the third quarter than they did the entire first half.
And there's
Ford will throw. And he's got a man on the sideline. That's Stanley past the 45 to about the 46.
Just talked about it. Manufacture easy throws to get your quarterback going and make sure they respect the pass. This is a great throw. This is actually a play similar to what Drogosh missed earlier. Right. He missed this throw earlier. J.C. Ford makes it more plays like that. Well designed, allowing him to make easy throws so he can feel comfortable and to keep Mona Shores honest.
He picked up 23. Now it'll be Ford breaking into the secondary. He could be gone. See ya.
Touchdown, De La Salle.
Make the defense respect your arm. Very next play, right up the gut. He goes outside zone, but he sees a crease, and he shoots the gap, and nobody's going to catch him. That's what De La Salle needed. They needed a quick score. They got it because they showed just an ounce of balance. And now they're within 1 score.
The extra point is blocked
by Brady Rose.
Wow.
My goodness.
Of course, it was Brady Rose who got it done, but not before J.C. Ford said, I can run the football too. Ford is over 100 yards running on the ground, all in the second half. And this one gets his team to within 6 when there are 8 minutes to play. Don't flinch. The exciting conclusion is bound to happen. The MHSAA Football State Championships on Fox Sports Detroit are brought to you by the Henry Ford Health System, all for you. And by Farm Bureau Insurance, the presenting sponsor of the MHSAA Scholar Athlete Award. We've seen a lot of good athletes on the field of play here today. We saw Brady Rose score the first touchdown for Mona Shores. The quarterback for De La Salle, J.C. Ford, takes a glance at the big screen. He says, I am front and center. All I got to do is outrun Elijah Johnson. And he did just that. They needed a quick response. They got it. 72 yards, 3 plays in 1 minute and 21 seconds. And just like that, De La Salle has taken over the ground attack in the second half. Look at the difference. My, oh my, what a change.
This has been a dream for J.C. Ford. Right, he comes into this game in the second half after not being the starter, right? And you're in the state championship, it's your senior season, and he is playing a dream game right now. Very excited for that young man, but still has some time to go. He's gonna have to finish if he wants to get a ring on his finger after this one.
It's punched and recovered hurriedly at the 25-26 yard line. Brady Rose came up along with Jalen Vinton.
22, Brady Rose with the recovery.
The reason it's a 6-point difference is because of Brady Rose off the edge. Look at this, all out, selling all out.
That's him as a football player. I mean, that's 100% him as a football player. He gets skinny and reaches all 5'7" of that body to make sure he keeps that ball from heading
And I love how he used the closest arm to the ball to use the block. He didn't have to do a Superman, right? That's just an intelligent football player. 1st and 10 for him and the offense. On the end around, Pierce pops his way for a gain of a yard or 2. Beasley on the tackle. We'd like to take a moment to welcome in our audience watching today on Fox Sports Detroit, Fox Sports Go, and on the CW in Grand Rapids and Kalamazoo. All with us live for the Division II state championship game. Great football on the west side of the state of Michigan. And you're seeing that more and more. You're seeing more athletes going Division I and playing college football in general. They don't always have to play Division I. There's a lot of good Division II and Division III players playing in this game. Rose on the pitch. Pierce for the edge. And wrapped up right around the 30. Beasley sideline to sideline. 33 is everywhere.
He is the paradigm of what sideline to sideline means.
I love watching him play defense. Seriously.
Flying around. And I'm, you know, Shepard, I'm an offensive guy.
Yes.
I love watching this young man play and fly to the ball. He's done it all day, and he's continued here late in the 4th quarter.
Just a junior, 16 tackles on the day. He and Conklin have been everywhere for De La Salle. Beasley has an offer from Eastern Michigan and Chris Creighton, but he's just a junior. Here's the 3rd down play from Rose. The give to Johnson, stuck, driven backwards. It's Conklin at the top and Ford at the bottom.
Elijah Johnson on the carry.
We've talked about these 2 young men all day. You watch and see why we've talked about it. Straight, boom. That is very impressive. When your team most needs it, you need to get the ball back for your offense. They do a great job.
What a punt by Rose. Stanley picks it up on the short hop. Broke a tackle. Carrying all the way to the 32. Boy, he's got some heart, doesn't he? Before Ryan McNiff tackled him.
That was almost disastrous.
Yeah, but look at what he did afterwards.
Yeah, it was impressive. But those are the things you got to stay away from, right? You got to catch this ball. That is dangerous. But it's always those plays, right, where a Deshaun Jackson gets a walk-off return for a touchdown against the New York Giants. Because he drops the ball, everybody's disarmed, and now you get a good return out of it.
Yeah, because they lighten up a little bit, right? They hesitate for just a moment. I like the fact that Stanley very poised.
Hey, Shepard, you implying that he might have done that on purpose?
No, I don't think anybody does. You don't know how it's going to bounce, especially on this turf. Stanley does remain in there.
Hey, he might be a savvy senior, right?
J.C. Ford, another savvy senior, is in at the helmet quarterback on a 1st and 10.
This is what they've been playing for here.
Stanley feels his way to the 34 before driven backwards. 6:20 and counting. De La Salle, all 3 of their timeouts, as you can see on your screen.
This is about all you can ask for, right, Shep?
I love it.
You get the ball back against one of the best stories, right, in Brady Rose in high school football with 6 minutes to go. I mean, with all the momentum on your side, this is what high school football is all about.
Ford with a give to Rozier. Hard-earned running on the outside. Close to a 1st down. Carson Merrihew made the tackle. Merrihew continues to excel. We've talked about Hamill and Merrihew a lot for Mona Shores. Merrihew, a state champion power lifter. Hard-nosed kid wearing 24 in blue. It's 3rd down and 3. Ford. Not going to get it.
Who do you think
Brady Rose came up from the safety spot to make the tackle.
Who do you think stopped him? My goodness.
What do you do? If you're De La Salle, what do you do here, Dev?
I'm going to sneak that ball over Brady Rose's head. He is almost had defensive line depth. He's so low. I mean, he is lining up next to the linebackers as a safety. You have got to dump that ball over his head if he does that again.
Yeah, he was in the box. That's what they talk about, right? That safety. Look at him as a safety. He's up close to the 45-yard line.
Like the referee is asking him, can he have his space, please?
4th and 3. Are you throwing it here? What are you doing? What are you going to do here, Dev? You're going to throw it?
I told you, I'm putting it over his head. If he's going to stand at referee, linebacker depth with nobody helping behind, you have to give it a shot. And with a little tight end dump right over their heads, give them a chance.
All right, first timeout called by Dan Roan.
Yes.
He's trying to settle his guys down a little bit.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, this could be the game, right? And so he's like, if I save these timeouts and we don't get the first down, it doesn't make any sense, right? So he's going to take a timeout. The best play in your playbook, right? You go into a game with 2-point plays. The best play in your playbook to get 3 yards. You need to use that play right now.
That's all that matters.
That's all the best play in your playbook with J.C. Ford to get a first down. That's all they're talking about in the huddle, and that's all that matters.
A lot of lecturing taking place to that offensive line, right?
Yep,
Anthony McCollum.
Sure. Everybody knows where they need to be.
Caden Featherstone, Tavon Mixon, who's got a big upside, 75 in white there. Noah Dobbs and Jeffrey Roskop. He's telling his guys, get the push we need, right? Win the battle up front. And De La Salle's got that big offensive line, folks. Look at him. They have yet to convert a 4th down try today. Friend against friend, matching wits. Dan Roan and the defensive coordinator, Dave Check. 2 good buddies. Let's see who wins this strategy, this chess move here on a 4th and 3. Ford will throw down the middle, over the outstretched arms of his intended receiver, Brett Stanley.
Yep, I circled right at the beginning. They're too close. You're going to get guys behind. J.C. Ford, who's played the game of his life, just missed the receiver, and it probably would have been a touchdown. Right, all your guys, they're not deep enough. Sneaks the fullback right through the middle. Just misses them.
You're right. If that's on the money, that's 6 points, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Man.
Although Rose trailing him, he might have caught him. Still, it would have been a first down. Instead, Rose works his offensive magic on the edge for a first down carry. Bumped out of bounds by John Hunt.
A first down for Mona Shore.
Got 11 on that carry.
21 on the stop for the Pilots.
Let's take one more look at this play, right? They're going to sneak this running back right through here as he's going through. Nobody even pays attention to him because they've run this style of play the entire game. Oh, that's a heartbreaker. That's one you have nightmares about if you come out of this game and don't get a chance to win it.
He's played really well, though. J.C. Ford in relief here in the second half.
And not only him, his defense has played very well. And they still have a chance with 2 timeouts left.
Rose to the 26.
Rose is long carrier.
With the clock like it is, you cannot allow points, right? You got to get the ball back with no points on the board. No matter where you get it, you've got to get the ball back. I mean, it would be ideal right now to create a turnover, right, Shep?
And 8.
Yeah, that's what you want. They do have 1 interception so far today. It was off a tipped pass. DeAndre Dandridge with the pick for De La Salle earlier. Second down and a long 8. Rose will keep it himself. Shifting his way inside the 25.
Brady Rose on the carry. Stop made for the Pilots.
One would guess, I mean, depending on what you get on this 3rd down play, this is probably 4 down territory for Mona Shore, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, De La Salle hasn't proven to be able to pass the ball much, so I would much rather keep the ball in Brady Rose's hands and make, if we don't score or get a first down, make De La Salle drive the length of the field and go beat you that way.
And by 4 down territory, we're talking about going for it. They do have the ability to kick the football. Keegan DeKuyper has made one from as long as 36, but just to keep that in mind. Inside give, Johnson. Oh, and he spun around on a beautiful call by Will Beasley. He read it perfectly. And when you have a guy like that on your defense, you always feel like you're in the ball game.
Conklin then Beasley. Beasley then Conklin. Conklin then Beasley. This time Beasley shooting the gap and making sure he takes this ball carrier down for a tackle for loss. These two linebackers have been, as we've done a lot of games together, Shep, and these two linebackers have been as impressive as any group of linebackers that we've seen all year.
You know, it's great to talk about the defense, and I'm glad you've embraced it too, because it's so vital. But really, I mean, we love seeing points scored, but when a guy plays his position the way Will Beasley and Jaden Conklin and Kyrie Hamill and Carson Merrihew play, it really is fun to watch. 19 tackles for 33 in white today. That is a load, man.
I told you, I told you we're going to get to 20 tackles, right? And there's still time for me to be correct, but 19 tackles in the state championship game. No matter how this game turns out, he gave everything.
Going to sleep in tomorrow, and deservedly so. You got another one in him? It's 4th and 7, Dev. 4th and 7. 3 receivers to Brady Rose's right.
Remember, quick kick is an option, right? Because a punt takes a very long time and it wastes a lot of time.
He's going to drop back. He's going to heave it downfield, and it's going to be knocked away. And there's a pass interference
100%
on De La Salle.
100%. That is so smart of a call by Mona Shores. You throw that ball up, and when you throw fade routes, cornerbacks don't find the ball, and they pass interfere. The pressure's on to make sure they don't give up a touchdown, and that's what happens there. A guy that's playing running back linebacker covers the slot, and he reaches and grabs and causes a pass interference. Well-timed call.
Pass interference. Number 30 on the defense. Half the distance to the goal. It will be a first down.
Now, why was this able to work? Number 30 here is guarding against the inside slot fade, right? So that he's going to take his leverage here and then cut across his face. And that's what gets him off balance, right? He thinks it's going to be the inside fade that everybody wants to run. He cuts across his face, and then he just grabs him and stops him from trying to attack the ball. It wasn't a very good throw, right? He didn't have to do it, but here we are.
Rose inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
Brady Rose is long here.
You can see the timeouts in the bottom of your screen. De La Salle just won.
2nd down and 5.
Under 3 minutes and ticking for Matt Koziak and Mona Shores, a champion a year ago over Martin Luther King 35-26. This one a little tighter, a little more defensive oriented.
Brady Rose is going to watch that play clock. It's at 10 now. He's going to take it almost probably down to 3 before he snaps it and bleed as much clock away as he can. There he goes, snaps it at 3.
Carries it inside the 5 and then dragged down at the 4-yard line by Jaden Conklin.
And those 40-second play clocks that start right after you get tackled, they seem like they go by and the time is just taken away on De La Salle.
Along with Jaden Conklin.
And unlike the NFL, there's no built-in timeout, right? There's no 2-minute warning that'll stop the clock for you. You either have to use your timeout or watch the time tick away. And I don't think the De La Salle is going to want to use their timeout because they need that timeout to drive the length of the field if they were able to get a stop here.
Not to mention the fact, 3rd down and 1. And now a stoppage, and Mona Shores will burn their final timeout. Time now for the Menards big money moment. Brady Rose has not been a force with his arm. Defensively, yes, and with his legs on offense.
Yeah, this play is what really got the momentum back for Mona Shores, right? They were reeling at one point. De La Salle had him on the ropes, but this is what we've seen all year from Brady Rose. A lot of teams have had him on the ropes, and this is how he responds. And then he makes a great pitch, great decision to pull it out, great decision to pitch it, and then the others, his teammate, does the rest. Number 2, Keandre Pierce.
Rose 21 carries, 150 yards. He scored the first touchdown of the day.
And at home, you're probably wondering, why is the ball so far outside the hashes?
Right.
Because those are the NFL hashes that you see, and then these little check marks out here are where the high school hashes actually are.
It's a 3rd down and 1. Rose himself. 1st down and more. Touchdown, Brady Rose. An exclamation point on a heck of a high school football career.
Nothing special here, nothing fancy, just a quarterback power. We've seen it all day. Buries his head and he drives those legs. There will be nothing to review there. He's in the end zone. Brady Rose has been special today.
2nd rushing touchdown of the day from Mona Shores. Every touchdown in the game here this afternoon has been on the ground.
Rooming on the field with a touchdown. The rooming's confirmed.
You notice, I'm sure, on the side of your screen there, the center was holding on to the ball, Bryce Sickinga. The reason they're holding on to the ball, the referees are not touching the football today just because of COVID safety protocol. The centers take the ball where it needs to go. Rose with a 2-point conversion incomplete. So a 12-point Muskegon Mona Shores lead with 1:47 left, and De La Salle down to 1 timeout. High school football fans, stay with us after this game because the MHSAA football finals continues. Coming up at 4:30, we'll watch Division 6. Montague takes on Clinton. Find out who will take home the trophy on your home for the high school football finals. Fox Sports Detroit. We've also got 4 more on tap for you tomorrow. Pumped and ready to roll. Traverse City, St. Francis, and New Lothrop. Then the big boys punch it out. West Bloomfield and Davison. You want to watch some good defensive play? Expect to tune in at 1 o'clock. Then it's Frankenmuth. First time they're here in the history of their program against Grand Rapids Catholic Central. And then Division 3 just might be the best game on our slate. Why not save the best for last? It's River Rouge and DeWitt. All on Fox Sports Detroit Go, or Fox Sports Go. And Fox Sports Detroit Plus has that Division 3 title bout. Rest on Fox Sports Detroit as Mona Shores ready to kick it away. Ford, one of the 13 seniors on this De La Salle team. Nothing to hang your head over. They have been game all afternoon. They've played super hard and at times super well. So is this young man, Brett Stanley, hurdling his way up close to the 30-yard line. And your hope, if you're De La Salle, is that the younger players have watched these seniors carry their business, watched them work hard in the offseason, and watched how they handled this state championship game and the run to a state championship game. Not many people thought De La Salle would be in this spot, Devin, and yet they proved a lot of detractors wrong. You got to tip your hat to them.
Yeah, when you're 2-4, right, going into the playoffs, you're one of the lower seeds. Nobody expects much from you, but they came into the playoffs and they absolutely dominated everyone. Got into a dogfight with Oak Park and made sure they finished that one off. And they're here trying to finish this one.
Brady Drogosh is back in, the sophomore quarterback who started the game. Second and short, Drogosh to throw. He connects with Rozier. He's shoved out of bounds shy of the 50-yard line.
Rozier's going to be somebody that that De La Salle can lean on. I mean, they've really called on him this entire second half as a freshman. And I don't know how many reps he's gotten all year, but he hasn't been their bell cow. And they've gone to him as the bell cow here in the second half.
Only had 4 carries all season, only 9 receptions.
They've got something special in him.
Yeah, they're going to be able to do some off-season game planning with 34 in mind. And Drogosh, too. He's just a sophomore. Deep drop and fires it out of bounds. The pressure coming again from Carson Merrihew.
Roach pass is incomplete. Second down and 10.
1:09 left on a 2nd down and 10. Brady Drogosh steps up in the pocket across the middle, has his man. McCollum stiff-arming his way outside the numbers, down the sideline and out of bounds.
That's
and
a great
flag on the play.
That's a great throw and a great movement in the pocket, right? Moved in the pocket, found the window, and hit a moving target. That's a very good job by Drogosh getting that ball out.
Alton McCollum, just a junior. Those two will connect next year. A pickup of 32. See if this is for a late hit.
Yeah, it's going to have to be. He got them all into the MHSAA billboards.
Dead ball. Personal foul. Number 6. Late hit. At the distance to the goal. First down.
He's getting on the edge, and he's fighting to get out of bounds, right, to stop the clock. He gets out of bounds. It's very close. It's very bang, bang, right? He's jumping out of bounds as the defender's already diving to try to take his legs out. Makes contact after he's out of bounds. It's a penalty.
So they move it to the 10-yard line. Chance to get in the end zone here, and then an onside kick. You never know what could happen. But a penalty against De La Salle. Everybody was moving except Tavon Mixon didn't snap it.
It's important to note that that clock wasn't running on that penalty. If it was a running clock, it would be a 10-second runoff on top of the penalty.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. 5 yards from the previous spot. Still first down.
So the false start moves him back to the 15.
At the Sabre 15.
Drogosh rolls the pocket. Throws back across the grain and incomplete. A lot of traffic there, and then a late flag comes. Alton McCollum got up saying he wanted a penalty, and he's going to get it.
It's
going to be a pass interference on Mona Shores. This is a good game, right? This game is not, and you expect this, right, from a De La Salle team with a coach like Coach Raw and a team that's had pedigree of winning. The turmoil they had have not stopped it from coming here to fight.
Pass interference. Defense. At the distance to goal. Repeat first down.
All eyes to the ball for the referees. You're going to see it right in front of you. That's a clear, very, very clear pass interference. You can't do that.
So they move it down to the 7.5. Drogosh on the option. Stanley stutter steps. Down he goes. Good fill by Elijah Johnson.
Elijah Johnson makes the stop.
And it looks like De La Salle has burned their final timeout.
Yeah, got to question that call, right? You got your quarterback who's not your option quarterback running the option, and then you got to get out of bounds. You have got to get out of bounds so you can save that timeout. Makes it very difficult to make a comeback when you got to use that last timeout. Even if you do score and then get the onside kick, you have no way of stopping the clock.
Brady Rose started the day with a first rushing touchdown. He's got a couple overall, and he has been dynamic with his feet and his legs. Has not kept teams off balance with his arm quite as much. Only threw 8 passes, but he didn't need to. 154 yards. Oh, let's not forget 8 tackles and a blocked extra point. Not to mention the fact he's averaged 39 yards per punt as well. He has done it all, and his team is moments away from celebrating a second straight state championship.
He's a special player, and there was a lot of billing coming in this game about him, and he's lived up to it in every way. Like you said, he hasn't been super effective with his arm. He had some good throws early, have missed some throws, but he's been special on all facets of the game all day.
Drogosh will roll the pocket. Throw on the run. Nice grab at the 5-yard line.
Tackled in
bounds. Pulled in Jack Janacek. 16th catch of the year. They got to hurry up.
Tackled in bounds is no.
3rd and goal.
They changed. You can't change personnel at a time like this.
For the corner, and knocked away by Gary Humphrey.
Incomplete pass intended for McCollum.
mismanagement of the clock here late is glaring for De La Salle. They switch personnel as they're trying to hurry up and get a play run and just waste a few more seconds, right? He has this throw early, but he just waits and doesn't throw it, and he throws it up for grabs. He's lucky that wasn't a pick and 6.
The other way, right. 4th and goal. Gary Humphrey broke on the ball nicely. It really helps if you're a cornerback and you play wide receiver at the other side, right, for your team?
Definitely helps. You know exactly what they're trying to do.
Yep. Here's the gain on 4th and goal with 21 seconds to go. Drogosh will keep it, and he's got himself a touchdown.
Touchdown, De La Salle.
Good hard-earned touchdown run from the sophomore, Brady Drogosh. His 2nd of the year.
For the touchdown.
Mona Shores did not expect the quarterback run from Drogosh, but he fakes the draw, gets up in the middle, powers his way in the end zone. The junior keeps his team in it.
It's a good read.
Not the runner that J.C. Ford has been, but
another block by Brady Rose.
The kick is no good.
There's the scoring drive, capped off by Brady Drogosh. 8 plays, 70 yards in under a minute and a half.
It's an extra point. Just
that wasn't even blocked by Rose. That was
blocked by a knee.
Yeah, that was hit knee high, wasn't it? There, that's what they've been playing for all season long, culminating here on this Friday afternoon.
Shep, I think that's a silhouette of you on that trophy. No. You know, with the old Johnny Unitas reaching out, reaching back, trying to make a pass.
Yeah, they're missing the cane there.
The old Shep, right? The younger Shep. The more explosive Shep. The runner Shep. The passer Shep.
It would have been you long before me, my friend. I mean, Ron Holland wish he had a quarterback who could sling it like you. I was not even close to your ability. Well, this will be an onside kick for De La Salle. Now, these are the things Dan Roan and his staff work on religiously, right? I mean, they are constantly working on the special teams aspect of it. You have to be able to do that. Have to. You never know when you're going to need it.
Are you surprised that Brady Rose isn't in the thick? Oh, yes, he is. I'm sorry. Here he is right here, making sure if the ball comes anywhere near, he'll stop it and make sure he...
Now, I'd be surprised if they kick it to him, but...
Yeah, that would be very surprising. He's going to try the old Dallas Cowboys versus Atlanta Falcons.
And I believe De La Salle was offsides there.
Number 5 is on the play.
Hey, move up to the 45. I will.
So they'll move that back to the 35. Where the interference kicks off.
The offense, or the kicking team, was over the line. 5 yards. Repeat the kick.
All right, round 2. The suspense is killing me.
Cody Cummins. That's a good hop for him. And it's fielded by Brady Rose. What a fitting way to end this as he drags tacklers down to the 15-yard line. They moved him from the middle of that front line to the left and made sure he was on the receiving end of that attempted onside kick.
There are 2 more kids that have to play that are in that Mr. Football competition. I'm just telling you right now, Brady Rose has my vote. I mean, that just takes guts. I'm not going to let it go 10. I'm going to go get it at 7 yards, and I'm going to try to return it for a touchdown in case you were wondering. I know that I've sealed the game by getting it, but I want more, right? I want more.
An amazing performance.
That's how he lives his life.
Well, I'm glad you bring that up. I mean, you know, he said he lives his life by his dad's acronym, LPKYA. You know what it stands for? Let people know you're around. Well, Brady Rose, we've known you've been around for a while. We're going to miss you being around Michigan high school football. Congrats on going out a champion.
Back to back. Q Drake.
In the Division II championship game, highlights from De La Salle 19.
It's the first time I've seen Brady Rose with emotion, right? He's excited. Oh, this is awesome. You have got to love high school football.
What a way to come back and kind of
reclaim some of the thunder.
Kill the giant. Yeah. You know, De La Salle had beaten him twice before in the finals, and now Mona Shores caps off an undefeated season with a win over their nemesis in the state finals. Brooke Fletcher is in the middle of that Mona Shores celebration, and she's got Brady Rose. Brooke?
Brady, what a game, especially in the second half. De La Salle came out swinging, but you guys held your own. What allowed you guys to pull off this win today?
Yeah, so their second quarterback came in, and we weren't ready for it. When he came out, we made our adjustments. To stop them, and ended up working. They had a heck of a second half, and yeah, all came out on our side.
I know you're tired right now. You had quite the day. 22 carries, 154 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, 8 tackles, and oh, by the way, 2 block kicks. First off, do you ever get tired?
Yes, I do. Ever since that second stop we had, everybody wasn't on top of their game. Everybody wasn't in their condition, and our team did a nice job staying in condition during that off time, and we came out hard. We came out ready to play.
Well, how good was the defense today? Because that's what this game was all about.
Oh yeah, defense wins championships, what they always say. So our defense came out to play. Our defense held them in the second half, in the first half, and give it all props to our defense.
All right, Brady, congratulations. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Matt, back to you.
Brooke, great stuff. Brady Rose, emotional and dogged tired, and for good reason. He's got enough strength to lift another trophy, though. I promise you that. And we'll watch him do it when we come back. Last year, Mona Shores' motto was grit. This year, it was rise. And Devin, they rose to the occasion on the biggest stage for the second straight year.
Yeah, it's got to be exciting for them, right? And exciting for that town, right? Obviously, the whole town couldn't come like they usually would have been able to. They would have had this place rocking. But I bet you they're at their respective homes watching this game on Fox Sports Detroit, and they are very proud of the way Mona Shores fought today.
Their head coach, Matt Koziak, told us during the week, no quitting this team. It's a special team. That's a special trophy given to a special player. What a way to celebrate a senior campaign. 25-19 the final. Mona Shores beats Warren De La Salle for a second straight championship in Division II. We're glad you could have joined us. We appreciate it, and we invite you to stick around for more high school football state championship action coming up. We'll be back here at 4:30 with our coverage of the Division VI state championship game. Now for our crew, Brooke Fletcher, my partner Devin Gardner. I'm Matt Shepard saying so long from Ford Field. Thanks for watching the MHSAA Football State Finals on Fox Sports Detroit. Have a great rest of your Friday, everybody.